You're giving the information. The first method or the first intonation sample, and the number. So I'm giving this information. The series, the number is 6245231463 Now pay attention. How did I say 632? Let's repeat again. 6245231463 For every 2 pay attention. 62632. The moment I drop my tone, that means it's the end of the series. This is a very important aspect of intonation. Now imagine if I am not dropping this tone, it will sound like as 14632. Now 2, the moment I say 2 on a 14632. Another miss 45231463 number again. That's why it's important a drop tone. So it will be 6245231463. My volume went up, but my tone aspects of a very good oral communication. No matter if you're speaking to the person face to face or over the phone, they can understand you absolutely perfect. So as a part of the first pillar, okay, thank you for tuning in today. Please post your questions, whatever doubts you have in terms of pronunciation. If you're watching this on YouTube, please post your questions on the comment section. If you're watching it on Mana TV, please go back to Mana TV, the channel on YouTube, Amravati channel. So we'll continue with the same session tomorrow, where I'll focus on pronunciation. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
First of all, heartily welcomes you Google IT support. I am working as a IT engineer with the computers. That is nothing but computer and hardware components and functionality. Okay, let's start the session. Learn about computers. What is the importance of computers? Computers are became a very important in our daily lives. No one cannot expect or else imagine without computers in our daily lives. What is the general meaning of computer? What is the meaning of computer? What is computer? Computer is an electronic device which takes input through the input devices, process it and gives output through the output devices. Understood? Computer is an electronic device which takes input through the input devices, process it and gives output through the output devices, called as a computer. Computers are general for. This is the basic definition for computers. Computer is an electronic device which takes input through the input devices, process it and gives. That reason computers are mainly used to store instance. Moreover, computers will be going to work with zeros and ones, is called as a binary language. We are humans. To communicate with each other we are using language, but computers will be going to work with zeros and ones language. That language is called as a binary language. For example, one user from desktop, he would like to give input instructions which is apple or as 2 plus 3 or as some other instructions. Given input instructions will be going to convert into zero, such as Telugu or English or some other languages, into the binary language. That language is zeros or ones. So that reason computers will be going to work with binary language or as digital language. Like all electronic devices, computers work with DC power supply. Generally, electric charges are two types. Number one, the flow of electric charge will be going to periodically reverses their direction, is called as a alternating current. The sources to produce type of electric charge which is called as going to panels or else generators which are working with fuel. This is direct current. Electric charges are two types, alternating current and direct current. So all electronic devices will be going to uses or else consumes or else work with direct current. This is basic introduction to the computers. The input devices process it and gives output to the output devices is called as a computers. In day-to-day human life, we are using mobiles. Mobile also one type of computers. Desktop also one type of computer. Laptop, servers, all these are generally called as a computers. Computers are present. Let's see the block diagram of computer. These computers are furtherly categorized. Number 2 is central processing unit. The central processing unit is furtherly classified into 3 types. Those are generally called as a ALU units. Let's discuss little bit processing unit. Example to take best examples are physical devices. Those input unit is nothing but keyboard, joysticks. That input instructions, it has to use input devices. Given input instructions will be going to transfer to the central processing unit. Second unit from computer is central processing unit. The central arithmetic logical unit. What is the role and responsibility of ALU? ALU is responsible to perform some functions. Those functions are arithmetic functions. Arithmetic functions is nothing but plus, minus, into, divided by. And ALU is responsible to perform logical functions also. ALU, arithmetic logical unit, first logical unit from functions. Coming to second chip or else processor unit. Given input instructions will be processed by processor chip. The processor chip will be going to located in control unit. Coming to loss is RAM and ROM. Best example to understand output unit is monitor, projector, speakers. All these are comes under output unit. Let's take an example. One user is working in front of one desktop. In order to give input instructions, he has to use input devices. Given input instructions will be going to transfer to the central, going to process given input instruction. Output unit, that unit is nothing but monitor or projector or speaker or some other device. What about printer? Printer is output unit or input unit. Printer is always output unit. Given input instructions will be delivered through printer. So that reason printer is comes under output unit. For example, I have a clarification. I need fax machine is input device or output device. Fax unit. For example, I would like to send one location. Fax machine will be going to work as a input unit. Con copy to my brother in my brother location. In his location, fax machine will be going to act as a or else work as a output unit. So that reason fax machine will be going to block diagram of computer. Let's see the basic hardware components of computers. What are the components of computer? Most of the students or else most of the technical service, most of the people are much confused with basic hardware components of computers. What are the components of computer? In computer, how many components are available? So many components and physical devices are available in computers. Let's take a look about computer hardware components. Basic or common hardware components of computer is number 1 is motherboard, number 2 processor, number 3 is primary storage devices. Component of computer is secondary storage device, drive, optical drives, CD-ROM, that is nothing but CDs, DVDs. Third one is secondary storage device, floppy disk. Generally we are using pen drive type of disk. It contains reel which is covered with magnetic coating, floppy disks. Now fourth component of computer is SMPS, feature mode, power, nothing but keyboard, mouse, output devices or monitor. These are the basic hardware components of computers. Number 1 is motherboard, number 2 processor, number 3 primary storage devices, RAM and ROM. Fourth component of computer is secondary storage devices, HDD, optical drives, CD, DVDs, floppy disk drives. Fifth component is SMPS, feature mode, power supply. Sixth component is input devices and last one is output devices. These are the basic hardware components of computer. Before going to talk about basic hardware components of computers, just first type of computers are supercomputers. These supercomputers are generally used in research and development departments. Research and development departments such as NASA, ISRO. Supercomputers are generally used for supercomputers are generally used to different purposes by research and development department. Second type of computers are mainframe computers. Best examples such as banks or else insurance companies or else universities. This type of organizations need huge amount of storage capacity. So that reason they will going to use special type of computers. Those computers are generally called as a mainframe computers. Third type of computers are mini computers. Production process in some organizations. Those organizations are production organizations like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or some of the soap manufacturing companies are generally called as a microcomputers. Microcomputers are generally used for individual purposes or as business purposes. Those computers are laptops, desktops, or some other devices. Clear? These are the four types of computers. Or as one more type of computer is there, unprofessional type of computer, micro ovens, washing machines. These are generally called as a embedded computers. And also generally we are using calculator. Now coming to the session, first component of computer is processor. Processor is a component. To define, processor is a component or else processor is a machine. It will be going to process given input instructions. That is called as a processor. It is a brain of a computer. Processors are generally called as a brain of a computer. Why we are addressing computer is a human brain is willingness that in total human body is managed controlled by processor. That is called as a computing power. So that reason processors are generally called as a brain of a computer. One of the most component in computer is processor. Processor is generally called as a semiconductor device. Why we are calling processor is a semiconductor device? Processor contains many nano copper wires. That is nothing but processor is a collection of many nano copper wires. Very small copper wires are used to manufacture processor. So that reason it is called as a semiconductor device. In technical terminology, processor is generally called as a monolithic integrated processor or as processor chip. Processor contains the complete processor. First component from computer, processor is generally used to perform some functions. Those functions are arithmetic and logical function. This is first component from computer is processor. Let's see processor specifications. What is the general meaning of processor specification? The computer such as laptop or desktop should must have basic knowledge on computing, but computer RAM memory. Computer RAM comes under processor specifications, and RAM memory and storage capacity of hard disk drive is generally called as a computer configuration. Now processor is speed. For example, I would like to purchase one laptop. Definitely I will going to manufacturers like HP or Dell. Before purchasing laptop or computer, first we need to check the processor speed. Why? Because computer performance and data processing speed will be going to depends on processor speed. Along with processor speed, computer performance and data processing speed will be going to depends on RAM memory as well as type of hard disk drive. So that reason, as a user, first we need to understand computer performance and data processing speed will be going to depends on processor speed, RAM memory and storage capacity of hard disk drive. So that reason, to purchase high-end configuration laptops, first we need to think about processor speed. Processor speed will be going to measures in hertz. Hertz is nothing but cycle per second. For example, speed, or else my laptop processor speed is 1.4 gigahertz speed. What is the general meaning of 1.4 gigahertz speed from processor? Processor speed will be going to measures in hertz. 1 hertz is equal cycle per second. What is the general meaning of cycle? What is the meaning of cycle? Why we need to use cycles from processor speeds? For example, to use input devices such as keyboard, input instructions will be going to transfer to the CPU, central processing unit. That is nothing but computer processor. To understand given input instructions, computer CPU form, that is nothing but zeros and ones. User has binary language, it is zeros and ones. For example, 2 plus 3 input instruction size converted to the 8 bits. 8 bits is nothing but 0010010. How many bits are there? 8 bits. For example, given input instructions 2 plus 3 has converted to binary language. In this case, computer will be going to use one cycle to execute 1 bit calculation. Earlier, user has gave a 2 plus 3 input instructions given input form of 8 bits. Here I said my laptop processor speed is 1.4 gigahertz speed. What is the general meaning of gigahertz? 1 cycle per second is nothing but 1 hertz. In simple words, 1 hertz is equal 1 cycle per second. 1000 cycles per second is nothing but 1 megahertz. 1 billion cycles per second is equal 1 gigahertz speed. What you understood? If I purchase one laptop, the laptop processor speed is 1.4 gigahertz speed. How many cycles are available? In this case, my laptop processor used for day-to-day human life, means for internet speed, that is highly enough. You can able in the day-to-day gigahertz speed or 4.2 gigahertz speed, especially 4.2 gigahertz speed processors are available in AMD processors. I hope you guys hertz is nothing. If I purchase one laptop, our individual at least 3.0 gigahertz speed, maximum laptops that is nothing but 4.0 or 4.2 gigahertz speed. This is the first specification of processor. Second specification of processor is width. This processor width is generally called as a processor architecture, or else processor width is nothing to measures in bits. If I purchase laptop, that laptop processor architecture is 32-bit or a 64-bit. We can able to check the processor architecture. We have to use one command. That command is dxdiag. dxdiag. In your desktop, open run command. You can able to get one window. Under that computer configuration, you can able to check the processor architecture. If your laptop or desktop processor architecture is 32-bit, it will be going to show 32-bit. Some type is 64-bit processor architecture, or as 86 or some other different type of processor architectures. For example, recently processor architecture laptop, I would like to install one operating system. That operating system is Windows 7. That Windows 7 operating system OS bit is 64-bit. Can you able to install 64-bit operating system in 32-bit processor architecture computers? 100% no. 100% no. In order to install Windows 64-bit operating system, or else any type of operating system which is 64-bit operating system, your processor architecture from laptop or desktop or computer should be 64-bit. I hope you guys are understood. Processor architecture. Processor architecture is nothing but processor width. Best example to understand 32-bit processor architecture and 60. What is the main difference between 32-bit processor architecture? If you have laptop, the laptop with 30, you can able to see the bits, 64 bits. What is the general meaning of bits? Bits is nothing but 0 or 1. Bit will be going to represent as a 0 or 1, is called as a binary language. 8 bits is equal 1 byte. 1024 bytes is equal how much? 1 MB. MB is nothing but megabyte. 1024 megabyte is equal 1 GB. 1024 GB is equal 1 terabyte. 1024 terabyte is equal 1 petabyte. 1024 petabytes is equal 1 hexabyte. 1024 hexabyte is equal byte. Why we are discussing about bits? Generally, bits will be going to represent kilobytes is equal 1 megabyte, terabyte. Hard disk drive is terabytes. Understood? Don't go for storage capacity of hard disk drives. Here we are talking about specifications of processor. Coming to third specification of processor architecture, that is nothing but FSB speed, front side bus. What is the general meaning of bus? In day-to-day human life, we are using buses for transportation purpose. To reach our destinations, we are using buses, right? That is transportation purpose buses. In the same way, computer will be going to use one special type of buses. Those buses are generally called as a data buses. What was that? Data buses. What is the general meaning of data bus? Data bus is nothing but communication system from one component to data buses. Bus is nothing but data bus. Data bus is nothing but communication system. In computer will be going to use one special type of buses. Those buses are called as a data buses. What is the general meaning of data bus? Data bus is nothing but communication system which is used to transfer data from one component to another component. That is nothing but data buses are used in computer to transfer bits or information from one component to another. That is FSB speed. What is the general meaning of FSB speed? FSB stands for front side bus. FSB speed is nothing but transportation speed of given input instructions from one component to another component is called as a FSB speed. Just take example 2 plus 3 by using input devices. Given RAM is responsible to collect given input instructions. User has given input instructions 2 plus 3. Given input instructions will be collected by RAM. Collected input instructions will be going to transfer to the one more component in the computer. That component is processor. The transportation speed of collected input instructions from RAM to processor is called as a transportation speed. The transportation speed from one component to another component in the computer is nothing but FSB speed. FSB speed will be going to measures in hertz. Like processor speed, FSB speed also measures in hertz. FSB speed is nothing but the transportation speed of given input instructions from one component to another component within the computer is called as a FSB speed. Measures in hertz. Probably you can able to expect maximum available FSB speed from your computers. That is nothing but 100 megahertz or 200 megahertz, 300 or 400 of processor is cache memory. What is the general meaning of cache? Cache is nothing but frequently accessed instructions or data is called as a cache. I hope you guys are using laptops. In your laptop you can able to use one common. If I access to different websites information, www.microsoft.com, google.com, this frequently accessed instructions or else information or data will be going to stored in browser cache. Commonly it is called as a browser history. What was that? That is browser cache. What you understood cache meaning is, cache is nothing but frequently accessed instructions or data is called as a cache or is maintain special type of memory or a storage capacity. That capacity is nothing but cache memory. Means processor will be going to maintain cache memory. Cache memory is nothing but going to understand importance of cache memory from processors. Okay, I hope you guys are understood specifications of processor. That is nothing but processor configuration is nothing but processor speed, width, FSB speed, cache memory. Before going to purchase laptop as a user, you must focus on processor speed. One of the important specification from computer is processor speed is, that is minimum speed. At least you need to speed or else more than 3 gigahertz speed. Maximum available, as per my knowledge, maximum available processor speed from Intel or AMD about only normal computers such as laptops or desktop. You guys are understood very well about processor specifications. Here you can able to see the one type of processor. This are generally used in servers hardware platform. Coming to normal laptops, we will going to use Intel processor, right? But the Intel processor name is Xeon. This is server processor. Component is processor. In coming sessions, we will going to understand in detail about processors and some other components. Thank you for watching this video and this session. My name is in some other sessions. Bye.
Welcome to this session on Introduction to the World, where information technology is so important. Is there anybody, whether it is a student? No. Everybody uses IT in some way or the other. Today it has become so important in our life, we can say that IT is a main line of our activity, whether it is for entertainment, whether it is for education, whether it is for job aspects or prospects, and also in the areas of research and development. Today we are going to look at the insights of what is IT, what it consists of, what are the components of IT, and how it is really benefiting the human beings as a whole. Components that are going to be discussed in this program. So IT stands for information technology. It's been used as a buzzword in the industry and even in schools and colleges. It's become a craze thing, like people in the field of computer science, whether you are in the field of electrical and electronic engineering, or you are in the field of arts and commerce. The main destination for all the students is to get into IT. So what is IT and how it's going to help us, and what are the components of IT? So if you look at the components, the main components of IT are hardware and software at a broader level. But just having a computer itself is not IT. So we need to have some software. So what comes under this category of software? So if you see, there is operating system and applications. So any electronic device, whether it is a computer or a laptop or a PC or your smartphone, they all require an operating system, which is the most important component. Once there is an operating system, the device can start up. So once a computer is ready, boot up and it is ready, and the phone is ready, what we need is the applications. When we turn on the computer, we use some applications. So what are those applications that we use? So most importantly, people use internet. So when we use internet, is a software application which helps us to access the various websites. So let's quickly get into see how this works. So we just open the browser and then type the domain name. Let's suppose we type www. We get the web page. So this is a application. So internet is one of the, so we can access. Okay, so the components of IT are hardware and software. Under to see what is IT. So information system is essentially made up of 5. So people form an important part of IT. Having developed this hardware, software, database and network, it is for the people to use this information. So these 5 components integrate into to perform input, process and output. So this is the core function of IT: input, process and output. So let's look at what is input. Just a little while ago we had opened this application, and in this application we have given some input. This input is taken by the computer and then it will give us the output. Let us look at another website. For example, we go to say server which is in a different city or different country, and we are able to access this information which is located hundreds of thousands of miles away through the help of internet. So if we come back to this components of software, so we have operating system, Windows operating system, Linux operating system, and on top of that we are using an application, and this is accessible via the network. So in the due course of this program, we will be learning a lot of information about how to understand these simple terms called hardware, software, database, network. And all these are being used by the people. So it provides information on demand. Information technology as an industry has provided so many benefits to the mankind. So we can access information irrespective of the physical or geographical location in no time. We have, most of us already are using. These are the various examples that we can take as an advantage of IT. We are able to send information to your friends and family in a matter of seconds. You just type the message and then click on send. The message is already delivered at the destination computer or destination mobile phone. We do also information technology, and it has progressed to the largest extent, like even the advantages of IT on a patient who is hundreds of thousands of kilometers away. So the doctor is in one country, the patient is in another country, and then they are able to perform surgery, robotic surgery, with the help of IT. So IT has given us a lot of scope in providing better facilities. We can be very confident of IT because it is giving us information well in advance. Like for example, in the case of weather forecasting. So what's going to happen in the next 20, or is it going to rain? Nation. Also in the field of science and technology, we have a great progress made, and thanks to IT, it's helping each and every one of us to be able to gather information about our surrounding solar system, and also bringing us information. And we have seen various projects information about that remote planet, and we were able to get all this done, and major part of this was done by IT. And it's also useful in various fields in terms of agriculture, where we can use IT in agriculture. So they are providing information relating to, so we also have information about the water resource availability, and also we can make analysis of the soil through the various equipment and gather the information which type of crops to be used and how to get better productivity out of this. And they are using IT to the maximum extent for the benefit of IT also in this picture. So why we need IT and the benefits of information technology. So we can see the concept of education. So how is information technology benefiting do we not have a computer lab? We are learning about new tools, new technologies which will enhance our capability to get better jobs. So IT helps each which are providing the basic inputs to the students to learn IT. So the next division we are discussing about is engineering, an activity as a business. Just to give an example of engineering, let's take the concept of, but how was it built? What which helps us to create those models before that's being deployed in the real world. Engineering, what are the problems that can occur, and they will simulate all those, and then they will bring it to the all these are first done at the engineering level. They will design all those components, they will ensure that it has the greater stability, how much force it can withstand. Build first, an engineering team will build them on the computers, which are a large scale computers. They might use even supercomputers which have very high capability of, and then they ensure that it is stable, it's working perfectly, and then they come to the actual implementation phase. So engineering as a field is getting a lot of benefits in the form of IT. Earlier, prior to this information technology, companies had to really build the physical devices or physical things and then test them before they can be deployed. So which used to take a long time. Most importantly, the information technology has bridged the gap of time, so things can be done instantly, and then in the surgery on a remote patient. Apart from equipment which processes them, and with the help of IT they can diagnose and tell them the diseases that are available from the concept of information technology. So what has it provided? Right from the design which we have just discussed, I've seen from those space objects, or like satellites, getting information. Even today we have Indian owned satellites which are providing for communication, for weather, for agriculture. There are special satellites launched purely for weather forecasting, telecommunications and agriculture research. And it's also helping in a way. Even this particular program that is being telecast is with the help of space technology. So information technology is being used in each and every part of our life. And then the weather forecast, also the examples we have discussed. And entertainment. So I don't have the concept of entertainment on the mobile phones, on the laptop. We can watch movies and videos, and you can also participate in the various. Has been a backbone for the growth of humankind or mankind. So without IT, nothing can happen. What we do is check the mobile phone. Do we have any messages from friends and family? Do we have any email? And what's news today? So it's all happening because of information technology. So this technology is here to stay, is going to be there forever as long as there is mankind, and it's going to grow. And we have been hearing about the new technologies that are going to be coming up very soon, that is machine learning, artificial intelligence. So today, technology for the whole day, either at office to the night, you also check using IT in some form or the other. So for the students at school and college, we have seen 20 years ago there was no concept of computers in the schools. Maybe there are a few in the colleges, but in the schools it wasn't there 20 years ago. But today computers are, and people are getting trained. It's not just because they have a subject in the school, but even the students have access of these computers at home. So they have their own computers or laptops or tabs, smartphones, which are providing them the necessary information for their study, for building the projects, or to communicate with family and friends. So IT is the most important development that has happened in the recent generations. And to make, for example, you have internet. So how does internet work? We will be discussing about this technology, how it works in detail, about the components that are going to be there as part of IT later on in the coming sessions. But for now, let's look at the IT as an enabler for our day-to-day work. So when we look at internet, which is the biggest network providing worldwide connectivity. So when we have seen this example of accessing a browser, so we are able to connect to a server which is quite far away, and we are getting the information in seconds. So like this, we can access various information. Like for example, we want to look at Microsoft.com. Now we can see that's information coming from Microsoft. So this is the information we have. We can gather information in seconds from all over the world. It's just that you need to know what is the name, domain name. Okay. So we can also look at various other examples of. So most people also use Facebook, to send and receive messages. Of course, and if you look at the website, something like I are leaving, how to make a reservation online from this website. It's not only just for trains, you have applications to book tickets for, you can also buy tickets from traveling on a bus from the road transport authorities. So all these applications are providing us very good advantage to save time. Instead of traveling all the way to an office where you buy the ticket, so we can access it from this particular application. Also, we have public websites from the government where we can offer services, like for example, government is offering services like Me Seva, an example of Me Seva. So what's available in Me Seva? We have a website available, and through that website we can provide transactions like you want to pay the water bill, you want to pay the electricity bill, you want to pay the property bill. All these can be done with the help of IT. So IT plays an important role in enabling these services. So how can we not use IT? So IT is everything today, and the applications help us to do our day-to-day work in the field of education, in the field of engineering, in the field of medicine, space research, weather forecast, entertainment, and it in fact available for financial services, like for example banking. Banking is the best example of leveraging the IT technology. So how are we doing any banking today? Is there any main reason that we have to go to the bank to provide any transactions? No, we have the online facility. Just visit the bank website. So it's hardly any necessity to visit the bank today, because when you log into your account on the website, the banking website, you can provide transactions like you want to transfer the money from your account to some other account, or you want to make electricity bill or property tax, you can also pay from the bank. So we have the financial technologies ensuring better convenience. Suppose, and when you go to the ATM, you have access to withdraw the money. Since the ATM provides the connectivity to the bank, so when you use the debit card in the ATM, so it will ask for authentication, and you are providing your password, and then it is verifying with the bank. The information is sent from this ATM box to the bank database, where the credentials are checked, and then you get a confirmation, and then you are ready to transact. And when you say I want to withdraw so much money, again the request is going back to the database, verifying whether you have so much amount in your account, and that can be transacted. But for all this to happen, there must be a dedicated team working behind to ensure that the hardware is working all the time, the software is working all the time, the applications are working all the time, and most importantly, the network is working all the time. We must have come across sometimes that we don't get internet at home. So what do? We call the help desk for support. We tell them, hey ISP, I am not able to access internet from my home. Ensure that they will address this problem. So these problems could be of some type like connectivity problems, because the ISP's any disconnection or the cable is cut somewhere. So the technician, the person has to identify the fault and then fix it. IT support and the network support. So a typical IT infrastructure in an organization, what we observe is just some computers or laptops or network gadgets, wireless devices, etc. But in the background, most importantly, where all these databases are stored, is where if they are secure, physically they are secure, meaning they are protected by authorization, like only the authorized person can have access to that particular room where the physical servers, where the database applications are stored. So there will be physical security. So physical security provides only authorized personnel to access those physical. All the racks, all these racks consist of corresponding technical teams. So this help the organizations provide services to their customers. For example, so we have this website. So this website, if you log in, where is this information coming from? It's coming from the device, and this is the client operating system, and provides us information. This is connecting to the server which is in the data center. So let's HP. These are the companies which provide servers, laptops, desktops, printers, so business applications. So they are also into providing network components. So these are just enablers. These are the organizations which enable us to have a powerful IT system. So there are many such organizations which provide this. So you can see these applications, the benefits that common man have with the help of IT. So this organization provides operating systems and applications and a lot of networking, provides network at the kind of products they have. So you can see this various divisions they have providing various options. So network plays a very important role in internet. Network system plays a very important role in providing internet services. So mobile services require a lot of, and the next so Internet of Things also is going to be a next big advantage for the mankind. So we did discuss about machine learning and artificial intelligence. So Internet of Things is also the next advantage. Then what is the unauthorized use? Many students must have already discussed about hacking. You must have heard about this term called hacking. Somebody has hacked something. Somebody has hacked a server. Somebody has hacked some services. So security provides to the organization only authorized users can access those applications. The collaboration. So also they want to save on some transport or like traveling. So we have very good technology relating to video. So companies are using this video conferencing to ensure that there is a better communication between organizations. We can save a lot of time in traveling. So video conferencing helps organizations for quick connectivity. So government, in fact, we can see that the government has one of the key infrastructures, the statewide connectivity of connecting the government with all the districts. And we have something called government is able to talk, saving valuable resources for governments across the globe to ensure that there is person-to-person communication, government-to-government communication in terms of knowing the status of various things. Like for example, if some calamity has happened, So we want to speak to the authorities. So with the help of the video conference, through the video conference, fits provided by our presentation. So in the presentation we have discussed about the various components of IT, and this operating system provides the functionality for the hardware to start up. So once the hardware is ready, then we have the applications. So applications will provide us the tools. These are the tools. Applications are the tools. So one example we have used is the web browser. So we also have other applications like MS Word, PowerPoint for productivity. Most of you must be doing projects, college projects. So how do we provide the project? How do we provide the documentation? So we use word processor from the project, and also some diagrams, some output, and then the conclusion, and then we print it, bind it, and then present it in the college. So we were able to perform this project documentation with the help of a computer, hardware, and some operating system, and then asked to gather some information in the project. So what we do, we use internet, access certain websites, gather the information, collect the information, put it in the document, and then present it. Sometimes you may also have to present the graphs. So we make the graph. So we may use Excel as a application to create the graphs. So we use Excel to provide this. And if you have to do it presentation to the staff, so you provide the document. Along with the document, you also have to talk about the project, how you did it, and you will create a PowerPoint presentation using this application, and then how you did it, what problems you had. These 5 components, which are very essential, people. These components integrate to perform input. So we did discuss about input. What is input? What instructions we provide. It's like typing the domain name is an input. And process. What's happening in the process? The request is accepted, processed, and it is trying to find out where is this website, cisco.com or microsoft.com or hp.com, is going to search for that information. So in the process of searching, there's a lot of applications, like for example DNS. This DNS helps to resolve the name into an IP address. So what is an IP address? So we will be discussing about these internal components of processing later on in the other programs that are going to continue. And IP address is an important component of network communication, because the server is somewhere else, some other country, some other continent. So the request that you generate has to travel through the network all the way to the server, which is in a remote place. So in the concept of help of various network devices called routers, switches, firewalls, and this equipment in turn is connected to the internet service provider, and this internet service provider is taking your request and then forwarding it to the actual destination. Once your request reaches the destination database server, and the database server in turn will send a reply back to you, and that information web browser. So that is the output. So you give input as the domain name, and then your computer, your application will process it, send it to the ISP, and ISP in turn will forward it to the server which you want to access, and that server in turn will send a reply. So the reply and output is what you see on the screen. So we have these components that is helping us to generate information and get information everywhere. So when there's a problem in IT, of support engineers will be working around the clock to ensure that the things are happening or the problems are resolved in the shortest possible time. So we have the money on the ATM. You see, is the ATM out of cash to the bank is disconnected, or is it an application problem, or is it an operating system problem? So there are so many things to IT. It's not just what we see on the screen and then we just play the tabs and then we just use the entertainment applications on the smartphone, but there are a lot of things that happen in the background which you will be getting to learn, and IT gives us such a good facility for all aspects of life and more interesting applications, especially the Internet of Things. It gives us a lot of comfort. It gives us a lot of comfort because you can manage, like already there are certain concepts in place like smart homes. So you are enabling your house to be IT enabled. So you can control those devices from your mobile phone. Let me give a simple example. Suppose it's a summer, air conditioner to be ready and then the room to be cool. So while you are few minutes away from home, you can turn on the air conditioner from your mobile phone. So that is IT enabled home. You are able to talk to your devices at home. Or it could be the other way around. It's winter now, so you want to have the room heater on, or you want to have a hot shower at home, so you want the heater to be options of smart home. So all these are, the backbone is about IT. Without IT, we will have lot of drawbacks. So there is some digital divide. So I think these kind of programs will help us to bridge the digital divide. So it's important to ensure that we learn certain skills in IT, to be IT aware, to know what's happening around the world in IT, about security, and we will be detailing you about all this in the next few episodes of this program. And IT is an enabler for providing better information, better technology, and today hardware is getting thinner. But now we have the mobile phone having 3 GB RAM and 4 GB RAM, which was like a dream for having such kind of resources on the laptops or computers. So the smartphone is getting smarter with better hardware, better applications, better operating system, better network connectivity. So with 4G technology, you have very good internet bandwidth, but this was not available a few years ago. So today we have the better hardware, better software, better applications, providing very, very good IT. So IT is here to stay, but we have to be up to date with IT in terms of learning applications, learning the operating system, learning about networking, learning about security. And so I hope this introduction session on IT was helpful to you to provide the various aspects that you can look at and learn, because IT is used everywhere, in education, in healthcare, in medicine, in engineering, in space. You name a field which is not being used, agriculture, financial technologies, everywhere it is being used. So it helps us to understand a lot. And thank you for watching this video, and have a great careers ahead. Thank you.
A Tally training program. Let me introduce first myself. This is Chandrasekhar from Tally training from APA skill development program. I am here to teach you about Tally on GST. So we are going to learn here about Tally with GST, right? So in the so after 2 years, so GST implementations ఇవన్నీ జరిగినాయి. సో ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ మనము Tally with GST ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ గురించి చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు మనం టాలీలో ఉన్న టాపిక్స్ ఏంటి, టాలీలో మనం ఏ టాపిక్స్ చేసుకుంటాము ఏంటి అనేది మనం ఇప్పుడు చూసుకుంటాం. ఓకేనా? సో ఇప్పుడు మనం చూసుకున్నట్టయితే ఒకసారి మీరు డైరెక్ట్గా మనం ఒకసారి సిలబస్లోకి వెళ్దాము. సిలబస్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు టీచ్ యూ నౌ. సో కొంచెం మీకు కావాలంటే సిలబస్ కూడా నోట్ డౌన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. కొంచెం ఎన్లార్జ్ కూడా చేస్తాను, పాస్ కూడా చేస్తాను, ఒక 2-3 సెకండ్స్, 4-5 సెకండ్స్ చూడండి. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద టాపిక్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు డిస్కస్ ఇన్ టాలీ ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. సో ఫస్ట్ వన్ ద టాపిక్ విల్ బి ఇంట్రడక్షన్ టు టాలీ ERP9. ఓకే, తర్వాత ఇన్స్టలేషన్ అండ్ కంపెనీ క్రియేషన్ ఎలా చేయాలి ఏంటి అనేది తెలుసుకుంటాం. తర్వాత కంపెనీ ఫీచర్స్ అండ్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్స్ ఆఫ్ టాలీ. తర్వాత చార్ట్ ఆఫ్ అకౌంట్స్, దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ క్రియేషన్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ లెడ్జర్ అకౌంట్స్. అటువంటి టాలీ లెడ్జర్ అకౌంట్స్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి ఏంటి అనేది ఇక్కడ చూస్తాం. అలాగే నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ వచ్చేసి గ్రూప్ క్రియేషన్ అండ్ సబ్ గ్రూప్ క్రియేషన్ ఆఫ్ క్రియేషన్స్ అండి ఇది. తర్వాత స్టాక్ గ్రూప్, స్టాక్ ఐటమ్స్, వోచర్ ఎంట్రీ. ఆ వోచర్ ఎంట్రీలో సేల్స్, పర్చేసెస్, రిసీట్స్, పేమెంట్స్, కాంట్రా అండ్ జనరల్ వోచర్స్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిస్కస్ ఇన్ దిస్ టాపిక్. సో తర్వాత వోచర్ క్లాస్, ఇన్వెంటరీ వోచర్స్, మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ ప్రాసెస్, sales orders, purchase orders, debit notes, credit notes, receivables and payables, invoice configuration, banking, check printing, features and other features of Tally and other features and configuration elanti features అన్ని ఇంకంటే టాలీకి ఉన్న కాకుండా వేరే ఫీచర్స్ కూడా మనం టాలీలో డిస్కస్ చేస్తాము ఈ టాపిక్లో. సో ప్రతి ఒక్క టాపిక్ వచ్చేసి మీకు 2 hours ఉంటుందండి. ఇంట్రడక్షన్ టు GST అండ్ GST ట్యాక్స్ స్ట్రక్చర్ ఎలా ఉంది, ఓకే, అలా సప్లై ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, జిఎస్టీ రేట్స్ ఎలా ఉంటాయి, జిఎస్టీ ఇన్వాయిసింగ్ ఎలా చేయాలి, జిఎస్టీ రిజిస్ట్రేషన్స్ ఎలా చేయాలి, మన టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ రిటర్న్స్ అన్నీ ఉంటాయి, ఎన్ని జిఎస్టీ ఇన్ టాలీ విత్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్. ఓకే, ఇక్కడ రేట్ సెటప్ ఎలా చేయాలి, ఓకే, జిఎస్టీ లెడ్జర్స్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, జిఎస్టీ ఎంట్రీస్ సేల్స్ అండ్ పర్చేస్ ఎలా చేయాలి, అడ్వాన్స్ రిసిప్ట్స్ ఎలా ఎంట్రీ చేయాలి, రివర్స్ ఛార్జ్, ఓకే, జిఎస్టీ రిపోర్ట్స్. జిఎస్టీ రిపోర్ట్స్ ఇక్కడ చాలా రిపోర్ట్స్ ఉంటాయి కాబట్టి మనం 4 క్లాసెస్ తీసుకున్నాం ఇక్కడ. తర్వాత కంపోజిట్ డీలర్, ఓకే, ద ఫైలింగ్ ఆఫ్ రిటర్న్స్, ఈవే బిల్ ఎలా చేయాలి, ఎంఐఎస్ రిపోర్ట్స్ ఎలా చూస్తాము, డే బుక్ ఎలా చూస్తాము, ప్రాఫిట్ అండ్ లాస్ అకౌంట్ ఎలా చూస్తాము, ట్రయల్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఎలా చేయాలి, బ్యాలెన్స్ షీట్ ఎలా చేయాలి, రేషియో. అండ్ విత్ సీస్ అబౌట్ యాడ్ ఆన్ ఫీచర్స్. యాడ్ ఆన్ ఫీచర్స్ అంటే మనకి ఫీచర్స్ ఉంటాయి మనకి. సో దట్ విల్ అంటే అవి బట్టి ఎలా మనం టాలీలో ఎలా డౌన్లోడ్, సో యాడ్ ఆన్ ఫీచర్స్ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేస్తాము, లైక్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద బేసిక్ పే, వాట్ ఈస్ ద హెచ్ఆర్ఏ, ఓకే, హెచ్ఆర్ఏ పర్సంటేజ్ ఎలా క్యాలిక్యులేట్, ఈఎస్ఐ ఎలా క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్ చేయాలి, పిఎఫ్ ఎలా క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్, అవన్నీ మనకి పేరోల్ టాపిక్లో కవర్ అవుతుంది. సో పాస్వర్డ్ ఎలా ఇవ్వాలి, యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్ ఎలా చేయాలి, సో అలా సెక్యూరిటీ ఎట్లా చేసుకోవాలి, సో ఇవన్నీ మనకి టాపిక్స్ కవర్ అవుతుంది. సో వన్స్ అగైన్ లెట్స్ స్క్రోల్ డౌన్ ఫర్ యూ. సో ఒక్కసారి టాపిక్స్ చేసుకోండి, అంటే ఎవరైతే యూట్యూబ్లో చూసిన వాళ్ళు స్క్రీన్ షాట్ తీసుకొని ఒక టాపిక్స్ కూడా సేవ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, లేదా మిగతా వాళ్ళు కూడా చూసుకొని ఒకసారి నోట్ డౌన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు సిలబస్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద టాపిక్స్ we are going to discuss in Tally. సో అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ మీకు ఇంకా ఏమైనా కొత్త నేర్చుకోవాలని ఉంటే కనుక మీరు యూట్యూబ్లో కింద కామెంట్ సెక్షన్లో మీరు పోస్ట్ చేయండి. సో డెఫినెట్లీ ఐ విల్ హెల్ప్ యూ విత్ ఆల్ ద కమెంట్స్ విత్ యూఆర్ పుట్టింగ్ ఇన్ ద యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్. ఓకే, సో కింద మీరు కమెంట్లో మీకు ఏమైనా ఇంకా ఎక్స్ట్రా కావాలని అనుకుంటున్నారు అనుకోండి, సో అక్కడ మీరు కమెంట్లో మీరు పెట్టండి. సో దాన్ని బట్టి మనము అవి కూడా ఆ టాపిక్స్ కూడా డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ఆర్ ద సిలబస్ విచ్ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు హ్యావ్. సో టోటల్గా 60 hours ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఉంటుంది, రైట్? సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద డిజైన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. సో టాలీ ఏపీ ఎస్ఎస్డిసి వాళ్ళు మనకి 60 ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఇచ్చారు. సో టాలీ ఏంటంటే సో మనకి 60 ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ మీరు చాలా మంచిగా చేసిన ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఏంటంటే ఓన్లీ విత్ వ్యాట్ అండ్ బట్ ఇక్కడ ప్రోగ్రామ్లో కవర్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. ఓకే, సో బిఫోర్ దట్ సో ఇవన్నీ మనం సిలబస్ అని చూసాం కదా. సో సో ఇప్పుడు సిలబస్ ఏంటో మీరు తెలుసుకున్నారు. సో సిలబస్ తర్వాత టాపిక్. సో యూ క్యాన్ సీ దట్ with this we can discuss. So Tally was established in the year 1986, a homegrown global leader. సో చాలా మంది ఏమనుకుంటారంటే టాలీ అనే సాఫ్ట్వేర్, నేను కొన్ని స్టూడెంట్స్కి మామూలుగా డెమో ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు కొన్ని కాలేజెస్కి కొన్ని అక్కడ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్కి వెళ్ళాను. సో సమ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ అక్కడ చాలా మంది ఏమనుకుంటారు, టాలీ వెన్ యాజ్ ద స్టూడెంట్స్ దట్ సమ్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఇస్ డెవలప్డ్ బై సమ్ అదర్ కంట్రీస్. సో నేను ఎప్పుడైతే టాలీ ఎవరు డెవలప్ చేశారని అడిగితే ప్రతి ఒక్క కంట్రీస్ ప్రతి ఒక్క స్టూడెంట్ అంటే మాక్సిమం స్టూడెంట్స్ ఏమంటారు అంటే, సార్ టాలీ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఎ ఇండియన్ ప్రోడక్ట్, టాలీ ఈజ్ సో ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ బేసికలీ టాలీ వాజ్ డెవలప్డ్ బై ఇండియన్ పర్సన్. సో ఇప్పుడు వచ్చే తర్వాత స్లైడ్స్లో మన ఫాదర్ ఆఫ్ మన టాలీ ఎవరు ఏంటి అనేది మనము చూద్దాం. ఓకే, సో కమ్ టు ద స్లైడ్. So Tally was established in the year 1986. It is a homegrown global leader andi. As Tally ERP is used by over 90% business of in India. So ఇప్పుడు ఒక 100 కంపెనీస్ లో 90 కంపెనీస్ యూజ్ చేసేది టాలీ ఉంటాయి. అంటే టాలీలో జాబ్స్ రావడానికి అవకాశాలు ఇక్కడ ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి మనకి. సో ప్రజెంట్ ఇన్ 100 కంట్రీస్ విత్ 28 lakhs యూజర్స్ ఉన్నారు. అంటే టాలీని మొత్తం టోటల్ గా 100 కంట్రీస్ లో 28 persons which are using officially, which are using the license version. Then coming to the Tally was the most preferred business management solution. Tally was the accounting solutions in India anamata. So అవి కాకుండా 25,000 plus partners ఉన్నారు మన across India లో. So Tally partners అంటే one who the employers and all. ఓకే, సో ద మిషన్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద మిషన్ ఆఫ్ టాలీ? సో టాలీలో ఉన్న మెయిన్ మిషన్ ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళు చేసిన సాఫ్ట్వేర్ మీడియం అండ్ స్మాల్ స్కేల్ లాంచెస్కి వాళ్ళకి అనుకూలంగా యూజ్ చేస్తారనమాట. ఓకే, సెకండ్ వన్, సో ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ద టాలీ హియర్, టాలీ సొల్యూషన్స్ దెన్ వాజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ ప్యూట్రానిక్స్ ప్రైవేట్ లిమిటెడ్. సో టాలీ వెన్ వాజ్ స్టార్టెడ్, సో స్టార్ట్ అయినప్పుడు టాలీ నేమ్ అని కాకుండా ప్యూట్రానిక్స్ అనే పేరుతో వాళ్ళు స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారు. సో ఇట్ వాస్ కో ఫౌండెడ్ ఇన్ ద ఇయర్ 1986 బై శ్యామ్ సుందర్ గోయింకా అండ్ హిస్ సన్ భరత్ గోయింకా. అంటే భరత్ గోయింకా వాజ్ ద మెయిన్ పర్సన్ హూ హాస్ ఇన్వెంటెడ్ ద భరత్ గోయింకా ఏంటంటే ఆయన ఒక సైన్స్ పర్సన్, ఆయన కొంచెం అకౌంట్స్ మామూలుగా గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ పర్సన్. యూ క్యాన్ సీ హియర్ Goenka is a max graduated to create the software application that would handle financial accounts for his business. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం చేశారంటే శ్యామ్ సుందర్ గోయింకా ఆయన ఏం చేస్తారంటే వాళ్ళ సన్తో చెప్పాడు భరత్ గోయింకాకి. ఏమని చెప్పాడు, నాకు ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ కావాలి ఇట్లా అకౌంట్స్ మీద అని చెప్పాడు. ఓకే అని చెప్పేసి తను ఆలోచించేసి ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ డిజైన్ చేశాడు. సో వాళ్ళ ఫాదర్ పెట్టిన కండిషన్ ఏంటి అంటే మనము యూజ్ చేసిన సాఫ్ట్వేర్ మోడీ. సో బట్ వీ క్యాన్ సీ దట్ భరత్ గోయింకా అనే పర్సన్ ఫౌండర్, ఇక్కడ మీ పిక్చర్ లో చూస్తున్నారు కదా, క్రియేటర్ ఆఫ్ టాలీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అండ్ హీ వాజ్ అవార్డెడ్. Okay, he's also in some other he has given as father of Indian software product industry. So these are the two titles which are given by, he has two titles he has win from other companies. So if you see that after going there, if you see this journey of టాలీ అంటే టాలీ అనేది ఎలా జర్నీ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యింది, టాలీ కింద మార్చారు ఇన్ ద ఇయర్ 1988 స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. వెన్ ఇట్ వాస్ చాలా కొంతమందికే ఆ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ అని తెలుసు, ప్రెసెంట్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి డివైస్ గురించి చాలా మంది తెలియదు. సో డిస్క్ ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్ క్యాన్ బి అంటే ఆ డిస్క్ ఆపరేట్ ఇప్పుడు ఎలాగైతే విండోస్, యూనెక్స్, లైనక్స్ ఎలా అయితే సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ ఉన్నాయో ఆపరేటింగ్ సిస్టమ్స్కి, ఎర్లియర్ ఇన్ 90s దేర్ వాజ్ డాస్ అనే మోడ్లో ఇన్ ద 1997 ద ఫస్ట్ విండో బేస్డ్ వర్షన్ అంటే ఫస్ట్ విండోస్ బేస్డ్ వర్షన్ అనేది టాలీని తను రిలీజ్ చేశాడు. సో టాలీ వాజ్ స్టార్టెడ్ విత్ 5.4 అంటే 5.4 వర్షన్తో తను స్టార్ట్ చేశాడు. సో మీరు టాలీ అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ద రిలీజెస్ వాజ్ లైక్ 5.4. ద కంపెనీ వాజ్ ఫార్మలీ చేంజెస్ నేమ్స్ అట్ టాలీ సొల్యూషన్ చేశారు, నేమ్ని కన్వర్ట్ చేశారు. సో అలాగే 2001లో చూస్తే 6.3 అనే వర్షన్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యి 6.3 వర్షన్లో మెయిన్ ఫీచర్స్ ఏంటి అంటే ఆ 6.3లో మనకి ఇన్వెంటెడ్ మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్, అంటే 5.4 వర్షన్లో మ్యాక్సిమం ఓన్లీ దే హ్యావ్ కాన్సన్ట్రేటెడ్ ఓన్లీ ఆన్ అకౌంటింగ్ పార్ట్ పైన వాళ్ళు కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ చేశారు. తర్వాత ద నెక్స్ట్ వర్షన్, సో బిజినెస్ అన్నప్పుడు అకౌంట్ ఇంట్లో స్టూడెంట్స్ నేర్చుకున్నారని అనుకున్న వాళ్ళు ఆ వర్షన్లో యూస్ చేస్తారు. లైసెన్స్ వర్షన్స్ ఎవరు యూస్ చేస్తారంటే కమర్షియల్గా, అంటే హూ ఇస్ డూయింగ్ ద బిజినెస్ అండ్ హూ వాంట్స్ టు మెయింటైన్ ద అకౌంట్స్ ఇన్ ద టాలీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్. కాన్సెప్ట్ 7.2 వాజ్ రిలీజ్డ్. సో వచ్చి స్టార్టింగ్ అయిందో అలాగే అప్పుడు 7 అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనకి జిఎస్టీ కొత్త ఎలా వచ్చిందో అప్పుడు మనకి వ్యాట్ వచ్చింది ఇన్ ద ఇయర్ 2005. సో అదేవిధంగా టాలీ వాళ్ళు కూడా రిలీజెస్ అనేది చేంజ్ చేసుకుంటూ వచ్చారు. సో ఇన్ 2005లో 7.2 వాజ్ రిలీజ్డ్ and in the year 2006 they have launched one more lingual version. So multilingual version ఏంటంటే almost ఒక 24 regional languages like తమిళ్, హిందీ, తెలుగు, గుజరాతీ, మరాఠీ, సో ఇవన్నీ లాంగ్వేజెస్ లో కూడా మన టాలీలో రిపోర్ట్ చూసుకోవచ్చు. సో అది ఆ ఒక బేస్ గురించి ఈ 8 ద కంపెనీ హాస్ రిలీజ్డ్ tally.erp9. Okay, a business management solution. So what is the main use of this Tally ERP9? So Tally ERP9 లో మనకి మెయిన్ యూజ్ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే మన కంపెనీ డేటా నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్ వన్ బ్రాంచ్ యూ క్యాన్ యాక్సెప్ట్ యువర్ సిస్టమ్ త్రూఅవుట్ ఇండియా గ్లోబల్లీ. అంటే మన ఆఫీస్లో ఉన్నామనుకోండి, సో మన ఆఫీస్లో ఒక సిస్టమ్ ఉంది, ఓకే, అందులో డేటా ఉంది. ఆ డేటాని ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ రిసోర్స్ ప్లానింగ్, సో మనకున్న రిసోర్స్ని ఒక కరెక్ట్ గ్రూప్లో ఫామ్ చేయాలి. అంటే టాలీ వాజ్ అండ్ ఈఆర్పీ ఇన్ అకౌంటింగ్ ప్యాకేజ్. అంటే అర్లియర్లో ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ పడతారు, ఇన్వెంటరీ లైక్ మెయింటైన్ ఇన్వాయిసింగ్ ఫర్ స్టాక్, ఇన్వర్డ్ అవుట్ ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ పడతారు, అలాగే పేరోల్కి ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ పడతారు, అలాగే కొన్ని టాక్సేషన్ కూడా సపరేట్గా ఫీచర్స్, ఇన్వెంటరీ ఫీచర్స్ బాక్స్ అనమాట. ఇన్ వన్ బాక్స్ ఇన్ ద వన్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ యూ క్యాన్ హ్యావ్ ఆల్ దిస్ 4 types of softwares. ఓకే, సో ఇది ఒక అడ్వాంటేజ్ మన టాలీ ERP9. సో మళ్ళీ ERP9 ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు కంపెనీలో ఉన్న మెయిన్ డేటా ఉంది కదా, ఆ వ్యక్తి అన్నాడు సార్ దెర్ ఇస్ సమ్ చేంజెస్ ఇన్ అవర్ మీలో ఉన్న మన కొన్ని చేంజెస్ ఉన్నాయి, మన ఒక రికార్డ్లో కొంచెం మనం రికన్సిలేషన్ చేయాలి, సమ్ చేంజెస్ ఉన్నాయి సార్ అని సంథింగ్ హ్యాస్ మనకు అలా ఏదో కొన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ రైజ్ చేస్తాడు. సో అప్పుడు మనం సడన్ గా చూడాలంటే ఆ డేటాని మనం ఒకసారి క్యారీ చేయలేక డైరెక్ట్ గా కనెక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు. అంటే మనం ఆల్రెడీ మనకి టీమ్ వ్యూవర్ ఉంది, ఎనీ డెస్క్ ఇవన్నీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, డైరెక్ట్ గా అలా చేసుకోవచ్చు కదా అంటారు. సో వితౌట్ యూజింగ్ ఎనీ టీమ్ వ్యూవర్, వితౌట్ యూజింగ్ ఎనీ డెస్క్టాప్, అన్ని ఏ థర్డ్ పార్టీ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఏవి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసుకోకుండా ఓన్లీ టాలీ అంటే టాలీ ద మెయిన్ లైసెన్స్ వర్షన్ ఉండి మనకు ఒక యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్ లో లాగిన్ చేస్తే డైరెక్ట్లీ వీ కెన్ యాక్సెస్ ద సిస్టమ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద విచ్ ఈస్ అట్ అవర్ ఆఫీస్. సో మన ఎంట్రీస్ కానీ అవి కూడా చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో అలాగే వీ కెన్ లైక్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ వెన్ వీఆర్ ఫీలింగ్ నాట్ ఫీలింగ్ వెల్, మనకి ఏదో ఫీవర్ వచ్చి సంథింగ్ ఏదైనా ఆప్షన్ ఫీవర్ వచ్చి ఏదో ఆఫీస్లో మళ్ళీ ఇంకేదైనా డాక్యుమెంట్ జనరేట్ చేసేదే ఉంటుంది. సో అట్ హోమ్ అండ్ వీ క్యాన్ సేవ్ వీ క్యాన్ సేవ్ విచ్ ఈస్ అట్ ఆఫీస్. అంటే మన ఇక్కడ ఏదైతే వర్క్ సేవ్ అవుతుంది, సో అక్కడ నుండి మన థర్డ్ పర్సన్ ఎవరైతే ఉంటే వాళ్ళు ప్రింట్ తీసుకొని వాళ్ళు అక్కడ ఆ డాక్యుమెంట్ని ఎవరికైతే అవసరం ఆ డాక్యుమెంట్ వాళ్ళకి ఇష్యూ చేసి, లేదంటే మన సప్లయర్ కానీ, లేదంటే మన డెటార్ కానీ, అంటే మన ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ పర్సన్కి కానీ, సో మన అక్కడ ఆ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఇష్యూ చేసి కూడా చేసుకోవాలి. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద అడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఆఫ్ హ్యావింగ్ ERP9. ఓకే, సో కమ్ టు ద స్క్రీన్ నౌ. సో దిస్ ఆర్ దట్. సో 2005 7.2 అనేది సాఫ్ట్వేర్ని మనము టాలీ వాళ్ళు చేశారు విత్ వాట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్. అలాగే 2006లో 8.1 రిలీజ్ చేశారు. లాంగ్వేజెస్లో మన టాలీ రిపోర్ట్ చూసుకోవడానికి ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది. ఇన్ 2009లో కంపెనీలో ఇందాక మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాము ERP9 అనేది రిలీజ్ చేస్తారు. అలాగే చూసుకుంటే 2015 5th, సో రిలీజ్ 5 ఏంటి అని అంటారు. సో ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ ద మేజర్ చేంజెస్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనకి 2014లో ఆంధ్ర అండ్ తెలంగాణ లైక్ ఆంధ్ర తెలంగాణ సపరేట్ స్టేట్ అయింది, అవునా. సపరేట్ వర్షన్ అనేది రిలీజ్ చేసే అవసరం లేదు. 2. సో అలాగే రిలీజ్ 5 ఉంది. సో అలాగే విత్ రిలీజ్ 1, రిలీజ్ 2, టాలీ ERP9 రిలీజ్ 1, టాలీ ERP9 రిలీజ్ 2, టాలీ ERP9 రిలీజ్ 3, టాలీ ERP9 రిలీజ్ 4, టాలీ ERP9 రిలీజ్ 5. టాక్సేషన్ గురించి కంప్లైన్సెస్ లేకపోతే టాలీలో ఆప్షన్స్ అన్ని యాడ్ చేసుకుంటూ వచ్చారు. So now in 2016, the company has more than listed at GST Suvidha provided to the server and to the taxpayer. అంటే 2016లో, సో 2017లో మన GST లాంచ్ అయింది. సో దాని లాంచ్ చేయగా మనకి GSTకి సంబంధించిన సర్వర్స్ కానీ, GSTకి ఎలా మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి, ఎలాంటి రిపోర్ట్స్ చేయాలి, ఎలాంటి రిపోర్ట్స్ మన రిటర్న్స్ ఉంటుంది, ఎన్ని టైప్స్ కి అక్కడ కస్టమర్స్ కి మధ్యలో ఒక సువిధ ప్రొవైడర్ వాళ్ళకి ఏమన్నా సలహాలు. సో దిస్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ ఇన్. Okay, so in 2007 the company was launched the updated system GST compliance software in 2007. Okay, so when you see that అంటే 2000 రిలీజ్ 6 అనేది GST స్పెషల్. సో ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్ చూసుకుంటే 6 4.0.8. సో దిస్ వాజ్ ద. సో GST మీరు ఎందుకు ఆపర్చునిటీస్ పెరిగి ఇన్వాయిస్ డీటెయిల్స్ లైక్ ఈ డీటెయిల్స్ షుడ్ బి అప్లోడ్ ఇన్ ద పోర్టల్. సో యూజ్ ఉంటుంది యూత్కి కానీ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఆపర్చునిటీ అనేది ఎక్కువ. సో నవ్ డేస్ యూ క్యాన్ సీ దట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ కంప్యూటరైజ్డ్, ద హోల్ వరల్డ్ ఈజ్ ఇన్ అవర్ హ్యాండ్ విత్ ఇన్ ఎ మొబైల్. సో అలాగే టాలీ కూడా నౌ దే ఆర్ ట్రయింగ్ టు డూ విత్ మొబైల్ యాప్. అంటే ఎలాగైతే యాప్స్ వస్తున్నాయో అలాగే కొన్ని యాప్స్ కూడా డెవలప్ చేస్తున్నారు. టాలీ వాళ్ళకి పర్చేస్ ఎంత చేసాము, సేల్స్ ఆర్డర్. సో ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఒక మొబైల్ యాప్. GST వచ్చిన తర్వాత కూడా ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఆపర్చునిటీస్ చాలా 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 పెరిగాయి. సో మన స్టూడెంట్స్కి కానీ, ఇప్పుడు మన అంటే డిగ్రీ ఫ్రెష్గా పాస్ అయ్యే స్టూడెంట్స్ కానీ, లేక PG పాస్ అయ్యి బయటికి వస్తున్న స్టూడెంట్స్ కానీ, సో ఇలా ఈ అకౌంటింగ్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ మీరు నేర్చుకుంటే మనకి బయట చాలా కండక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ కమ్ టు ద స్క్రీన్ నౌ, అంటే లాస్ట్ స్లైడ్ వరకు మనం ఏం చూస్తున్నాము టాలీలో ఏమేమి వర్షన్స్. సో వన్ వీ హ్యావ్ క్విక్ లుక్అప్. సో ఈజ్ ద ఫౌండర్ ఆఫ్ టాలీ. సో 2088లో ఏం చేస్తారు, 97లో దే హ్యావ్ 2088లో ప్రోడక్ట్ వాస్ రినౌన్డ్ యాజ్ టాలీ. 97లో టాలీ సొల్యూషన్స్ మార్చుకున్నారు. 2001లో 6.3 అనే వర్షన్ మనకి రిలీజ్ అయింది. అలాగే 2005లో లాంగ్వేజ్ వర్షన్. 2009లో కంపెనీ ERP9 అనే వర్షన్ రిలీజ్ చేసింది. 2015లో రిలీజ్ 5 విత్ టాక్సేషన్ అబ్లిక్ 2000 ఈ రిలీజ్ 5లో రిలీజ్ చేశారు. అలాగే చూసుకుంటే 2016లో మన 17లో మన GST వర్షన్ 6th రిలీజ్ చేశారు. అంటే టాలీ వన్ సొల్యూషన్ ఫర్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ పైన మన ఇండిపెండెన్స్ ఉంటుంది. ఓకేనా. ఓకే, హ్యాక్ అయ్యే ఛాన్సెస్ అలా ఉంటాయి. బట్ ఈ ERP9లో సిస్టమ్ ఓకే, డేటాబేస్ అడ్మిన్ ఫ్రీ స్టాచ్యూరీ. ఇప్పుడు GS లో చూసుకుంటే కనుక జాన్సన్ ఫార్మాట్ లో మనం అప్లోడ్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది ఫైల్స్. జాన్సన్ ఫైల్ ఫార్మాట్ లో మనము రిటర్న్ అప్లోడ్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఆ జాన్సన్ ఫార్మాట్ అనేది టాలీ జనరేట్ చేస్తుంది, మీరు డైరెక్ట్ గా అప్లోడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. లేదంటే కొన్నిట్లో ఏమవుతుంది, మీరు టూల్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకుని అప్లోడ్ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. బట్ ఈ టాలీలో ఏమవుతుంది అంటే అలా అవసరం జనరేట్ చేస్తుంది, ఆ జాన్సన్ ఫైల్ అప్లోడ్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది అనమాట. సో సర్టన్లీ కంటిన్యూటీ అండ్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ ఆర్ యువర్స్ వెన్ యు ఆర్ విత్ టాలీ. సో జనరల్ గా చేయొచ్చు అనమాట. సో టాలీలో ఉన్న ఫ్యూచర్స్. సో వేర్ వి గెట్ ద జాబ్స్ నౌ. సో సపోజ్ CEO హెడ్ ఆఫీస్. సో your head office is at some other place. So purchase management, inventory management, excuse me, బ్రాంచ్ మేనేజ్ ఆల్సో క్యాన్ బి డన్. అంటే ఒక బ్రాంచ్ నుంచి ఇంకో బ్రాంచ్కి ట్రాన్స్ఫర్, ఆ బ్రాంచ్ ఈ బ్రాంచ్లో మీరు అకౌంట్స్ సింక్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో సేమ్ అది కూడా యూ క్యాన్ డూ ఇన్ టాలీ. క్రిటర్స్ ఆల్సో ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ యూస్ఫుల్. సో ఫస్ట్ వేర్ యూ క్యాన్ గెట్ ద జాబ్ ఫెసిలిటీస్. అంటే మన టాలీ ఇవన్నీ అంటే ఈ సెక్టర్స్లో, ఈ డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో మన టాలీ అనేది వర్క్ చేస్తారు. అంటే ఫైనాన్స్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో కానీ, లేదంటే పర్చేస్ అండ్ ప్రొక్యూర్మెంట్లో కానీ, లో కానీ, సేల్స్ అండ్ సపోర్ట్స్లో టాలీ కనుక పర్ఫెక్ట్గా అయిపోతే సో ఈ అనేది ప్లేస్మెంట్ అయ్యే దానికి ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. ఓకే, సో మీ ఇందాక చెప్పాను మల్టీలింగ్వల్ అంటే ఏంటి అని. సో ఇవన్నీ రిపోర్ట్స్ మనం ఈ విధంగా లాంగ్వేజెస్ వేర్ యూ క్యాన్ హ్యావ్ ద టాలీ అండ్ అబ్జర్వ్ చేసి ఉంటాయి. ఈ 3 ఇంపార్టెంట్, రైట్. అలాగే స్మాల్ అండ్ మీడియం బిజినెస్ క్రియేట్స్ 1.3 మిలియన్ జాబ్స్ యాన్యువల్లీ. అంటే మనకి స్మాల్ స్కేల్స్, మీడియంస్ ఎప్పుడైతే మనకి డెవలప్ 3 మిలియన్ జాబ్స్ యాన్యువల్లీ. సో ఎవ్రీ % ఆఫ్ ద యూస్ టాలీ. సో 90% ఆఫ్ ద 1.3లో 90% ఆఫ్ ద పీపుల్ రిక్వైర్డ్ దిస్ ఫైనాన్స్ జాబ్స్. ఓకే, సో ఫైనాన్స్ జాబ్స్ కంటే మళ్ళీ మనకి టాలీ నేర్చుకున్న వాళ్ళకి అలాంటి వాళ్ళకి యూజ్ అవుతుంది. సో అలాగే అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే కనుక ఎవ్రీ 7th జాబ్స్ ఇన్ ద కంట్రీ ఈజ్ అంటే ఫైనాన్స్. ఈ స్లైడ్లో చెప్పుకొని నేను ఏం చెప్పుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నానంటే మనకు ఫైనాన్స్ అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ప్రతి ఒక్క ఆర్గనైజేషన్కి ఫైనాన్స్ అనేది చాలా ఆ జాబ్స్లో మనకి. సో అలాగే చూసుకుంటే ఆపర్చునిటీ ఈజ్ లైక్ హ్యూజ్ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ అండ్ పొటెన్షియల్ ఇన్ అకౌంటింగ్ అండ్ ఫైనాన్స్ డొమైన్. సో మన టాలీ ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక చెప్పిన స్లైడ్ పల్లి మన 1.3 మిలియన్ జాబ్స్ క్రియేటివిటీ అనేది ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. సో అలాగే చూస్తే ఇప్పుడు మన జాబ్స్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ ఉన్నాయి మార్కెట్లో. సో మన టాలీకి జాబ్స్ వస్తాయంటే ఇప్పుడు నా దగ్గర కొన్ని ఉన్న కలెక్ట్ చేసిన మీరు చూస్తే కనుక ఇక్కడ టాలీ అంటే మీరు కావాలంటే మీరు ఒక వీక్లీ డైలీ న్యూస్ పేపర్, సండే క్లాసిఫైడ్స్ అలా చూడండి. సో మీకు ఇలా కనబడుతుంది జాబ్స్ విత్ టాలీ అంటే నాట్ ఓన్లీ అంటే ఫ్రమ్ ఇంటర్నేషనల్. ఇప్పుడు ఇంటర్నేషనల్ లెవెల్ అక్కడ చాలా యూజ్ అవుతుంది టాలీ. సో అక్కడ కూడా మీకు ఆపర్చునిటీస్ చాలా ఉంటాయి. సో గవర్నమెంట్ దానిలో కూడా కొన్ని గవర్నమెంట్స్ ఇక గ్రీన్ లైన్లో ఏదైతే ఉందో దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ దే ఆర్ ప్రిఫరింగ్ ఫర్ టాలీ సర్టిఫికేషన్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ టాలీ పీపుల్ అనమాట. ఓకే, సో లోకల్ న్యూస్ పేపర్స్ చూసుకుంటే టైమ్స్ క్లాసిఫైడ్ జస్ట్ ఒక బూస్టప్ చేయడానికి అంటే టాలీ వల్ల ఎక్కడెక్కడ ఆపర్చునిటీస్ ఉన్నాయి, అసలు ఉందా లేదా అనేది మీకు తెలియడానికని నాకు దగ్గర ఉన్న కొన్ని న్యూస్ పేపర్ కలెక్షన్ చేసి మీ దగ్గర పెట్టాను. ఓకే, right, so you can see like area wise also. Hyderabad lo also, Mumbai, Delhi. So not only in India, in 100 countries worldwide. So whatever you are seeing star mark, ఆ కంట్రీలో టాలీ ప్రొవైడర్స్ వాళ్ళు టైప్ కొన్ని కాలేజెస్తో కూడా టైప్ అవుతున్నారు. సో టు గివ్ ద నాలెడ్జ్ టు ద స్టూడెంట్స్. ఓకే, కాలేజెస్ కానీ పార్ట్నర్స్ కానీ సర్టిఫికేషన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇన్ దేర్ కాలేజెస్ ఆర్ అట్ దేర్ పార్ట్నర్స్ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర పక్కన మీ ఏరియాలో ఉన్న ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్స్లో కానీ, టాలీ ఆథరైజ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్స్లో కానీ, కొన్ని కాలేజెస్లో కానీ, అలాగే ఏపీ స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ కూడా కొన్ని టైప్స్ కూడా చేస్తుంది టాలీతో టు ట్రైన్. సో దిస్ ఆల్ ఆర్ ద ఆపర్చునిటీస్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఇన్ ద టాలీ అనమాట. సో ఇన్ ద స్లైడ్స్, సో ఇప్పటిదాకా మనము మీకున్న సిలబస్ జాబ్స్ ఎక్కడ కంపెనీ అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు కంపెనీ అంటే టాలీలో ప్రొసీజర్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది. సో ఫస్ట్ సో ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ మనకున్న సిలబస్లో చూస్తే గనక సో ఫస్ట్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ ద ఇన్స్టలేషన్ అండ్ కంపెనీ క్రియేషన్. సో ఇంతవరకు నార్మల్గా మనకు ఒక జస్ట్ ఒక బ్రీఫ్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ మనము అంటే టాలీ అంటే ఏంటి అనేది ఇంట్రడక్షన్ చేసాము. సో తర్వాత టాలీలో కంపెనీ ఎలా క్రియేట్ చేయాలి ఏంటి అనేది మనం చేస్తాం. సో బిఫోర్ దట్ సో అందరికీ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయడానికి మన టాలీ కావాలి, రైట్. సో అందుకనే ఒక చిన్న అంటే మీకు ఎలా డౌన్లోడ్ చేయాలి ఏంటి అనేది జస్ట్ ఒక మీకు బ్రీఫ్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ చూపిస్తాను హౌ టు డే అని. సో tallysolutions.com అని క్లిక్ చేయండి. ఓకే, సో టాలీ సొల్యూషన్స్ ఇక్కడ మీకు బటన్ ఉంది కదా, సో క్లిక్ ఆన్ డౌన్లోడ్స్. సో డౌన్లోడ్స్ క్లిక్ చేయండి. క్లిక్ చేస్తే మీకు ఇంకోటి అంటే ఇప్పుడు ద లేటెస్ట్ రిలీజ్ వాజ్ 6. ఓకే, సో ఇన్స్టాల్ నౌ అంటే ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఇన్స్టాల్ క్లిక్ చేస్తే ఓకే, సో ఆల్రెడీ నేను క్రియేట్ చేసి ఈ విధంగా మీకు సెటప్ ఫైల్ వచ్చింది కదా, ఇది వచ్చేస్తుంది. జస్ట్ మీరు డబుల్ క్లిక్ చేయండి. ఓకే, కూడా కొనాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. మీకు బేస్ ఎక్కడ ఇన్స్టాల్ కావాలి ఏంటి అనేది అడుగుతుంది. ఆ పాత్ మీకు కావాల్సిన పాత్లో షేర్ చేసుకొని జస్ట్ ఇన్స్టాల్ అనండి. ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ మీ. సో డిపెండింగ్ అపాన్ యువర్ సిస్టమ్ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్, సిస్టమ్ స్పీడ్ కొన్ని సిస్టమ్గా ఇన్స్టాల్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, బట్ దిస్ ఈస్ హౌ టు. సో మామూలుగా మీరు ఇలా చేసిన తర్వాత మీకు ఇలా డెస్క్టాప్ పైన ఐకన్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఐకన్ని ప్లీజ్ రిలీజ్ చేసుకోండి. సో ఆల్రెడీ ఇక్కడ ఇన్స్టాల్ అవుతుంది. జస్ట్ నేను క్యాన్సిల్ చేస్తున్నాను. సో ఇలా ఇలా మీకు స్క్రీన్స్ ఏమైనా అడిగితే అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే ఇక్కడ మీకు ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మోడ్లో. సో నేను ఎందుకు ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మోడ్లో చెప్తున్నాను అంటే, సో ప్రతి ఒక్కరి దగ్గర స్టూడెంట్స్కి ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయడానికి వాళ్ళకి లైసెన్స్ మోడ్కి మీకు డిఫరెన్స్ ఏం లేదు. ఫర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మోడ్ అండ్ లైసెన్స్ మోడ్ దెర్ ఇస్ నో డిఫరెన్స్. ఒక ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మోడ్లో మీకు డేట్స్ చేంజ్ అవ్వవు, ఒక లైసెన్స్ మోడ్లో మీకు డేట్స్ చేంజ్ అవుతాయి. డేట్స్ చేంజ్ అవుతుంటుంది అంతే. లైసెన్స్ మోడ్లో మీకు డేట్స్ చేంజ్ అవుతాయి. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ డిఫరెన్స్. సో ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మోడ్లో మీరు ఏమైనా ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ ఎంట్రీ చేయాలనుకుంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 1st April, ఓకే, 2nd April ఇట్లా. సో 1 to 31 అంటే మీకు ఫస్ట్ డేట్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్, సెకండ్ డేట్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ అండ్ 31 డేట్, ఈ 3 డేట్స్ మాత్రమే మీకు ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మోడ్లో యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తుంది సిస్టమ్. సో అలా మాత్రం ఓన్లీ మీరు ఓన్లీ 1 to 31 ఈ 3 డేట్స్ మాత్రమే యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో మెయిన్గా ఇది మాత్రమే మీకు ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మోడ్కి దానికి డిఫరెన్స్. సో మీరు టెన్షన్ పడాలని అవసరం, ఓపెన్ అయిపోతుంది సిస్టమ్. సో ఈ విధంగా మీరు ఓకే, సో మీరు ఓపెన్ చేసినప్పుడు స్క్రీన్ లాగా వచ్చేస్తుంది. సో నౌ హియర్ ప్రాసెస్ ద స్టార్ట్ అనమాట. ఓకే, సో ఇలా కంపెనీ ఓపెన్ అయ్యాక జస్ట్ విల్ డిస్కస్ అబౌట్ సమ్ ఫీచర్స్ టుడే నౌ. సో F11 ఫీచర్స్ ఉంటుంది. మీరు ఇందాక చెప్పినట్టు మనకు 4 ఫీచర్స్, దట్ ఈస్ అకౌంటింగ్ ఫీచర్స్, ఇన్వెంటరీ ఫీచర్స్, టాక్సేషన్ ఫీచర్స్ అండ్ యాడ్ ఆన్ ఫీచర్స్. ఇన్వెంటరీ అకౌంటింగ్ ఫీచర్స్ ఉంది. అకౌంటింగ్ ఫీచర్స్లో ఒకసారి వెళ్ళి చూస్తే కనుక సో మీకు సంబంధించిన అకౌంటింగ్ ఫీచర్స్ లైక్ మెయింటైన్ అకౌంట్స్ ఓన్లీ, అప్పుడు మీరు ఎస్ పెట్టేసుకొని మీరు ఇన్వెంటరీ, యూ క్యాన్ మెయింటైన్ ఇన్వెంటరీ అండ్ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ అకౌంట్స్ అంటే కొంత ఇన్కమ్ అండ్ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ అకౌంట్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారు. లైక్ నాన్ ప్రాఫిట్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్లో ఇన్కమ్ అండ్ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ అకౌంట్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారు, వాళ్ళకి ఈ ఫ్యూచర్ యూజ్ అవుతుంది. అవుట్ స్టాండింగ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ రిసీవ్ చేసుకొని ఆ రిసీవబుల్స్ పేయబుల్స్ అనేది ఇక్కడ క్రియేట్. ఓకే, కాస్ట్ సెంటర్స్ అంటే బ్రాంచ్ అకౌంట్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఇది యూజ్ అవుతుంది. డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ అకౌంటింగ్ బ్రాంచ్ అకౌంట్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఈ కాస్ట్ సెంటర్ అనేది యూజ్ అవుతుంది. సో ఈ కాస్ట్ సెంటర్ ఇన్ డెప్త్గా మనము ఎప్పుడైతే క్లాసెస్కి టాపిక్స్కి వస్తామో అక్కడ డీటెయిల్గా డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. సో అలాగే ఇన్వాయిసింగ్, డెబిట్ నోట్స్, క్రెడిట్ నోట్స్ సో ఎంట్రీ చేయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. సో అవి జీరో లెడ్జర్స్, కంపెనీ అండ్ లెడ్జర్స్. సో అలాంటప్పుడు ఇక్కడ మనం ఎస్ యాక్టివేట్ చేసుకోవడం ద కంపెనీ ఫీచర్స్. ఓకే, సో ఇవన్నీ సిలబస్ డిస్కషన్ ఒకటి చేసాము. ఈఆర్పి ఎలా మిగతా టాపిక్స్ డిస్కస్ చేసాం. ఓకేనా? టిల్ దెన్ హ్యావ్ ఎ నైస్ డే.
Good afternoon everybody. I welcome you all specific to one particular organized 2 years and it led to a huge success. I pretty much remember last year we started this in Kurnool and few other places and roughly they're close to 5 is one of the top most ID company not just in India but the entire world. And getting into this organization is definitely a dream for a lot of people who are either from engineering background or BSc background. It doesn't really matter because this company recognizes the skills that you bring on table and how that can be improved to meet the expectation of the company as well as the client. And this is a pure Indian IT company which started way back, even before Wipro or say Infosys was a big name. So I'm sure you can take a guess which company I'm talking about, and this is Tata Consultancy Services, which is TCS. So as far as the TCS placement is concerned, the wants to make sure that we help you exactly happens as a part of the selection process. Academic background, graduation, and you got an aspect which they will assess you on as far as the placement process is concerned. And this is where APSSDC program is going to help you. For the next 10 days, this is more of a recruitment training that you're going to go through. In order to understand what this training is going to be, you need to know what is the pattern of the selection. So here goes the pattern of the entire selection. The first step is going to the online test. Sections on the placement. There are 4 different sections: email writing skills, quantitative aptitude, the TCS CMCQ. This is more of a technical aspect. And coding test, again, there will be a situation given to you and you need to write a code. The total time given for the coding test is 20 minutes. For the CMCQ is 20 minutes. You will have quantitative aptitude before that, 20 questions, 40 minutes. So you basically get 2 minutes per question. That's a whole lot. And then you have email writing. You will have to write email. So I'm going to pause here. Please make a note of these aspects. What do we mean by number of star mark question? I will explain to you, but please make a note of these points. All right, let's begin. So you will have email writing, so essentially absolutely relevant and related to that particular topic. It's very important. You need to understand why this is very, very critical. Now, in order to explain the phase of TCS recruitment that happened across Andhra Pradesh, and APSSDC was instrumental in imparting the skills, the recruitment training. 90% of the students did very well in quantitative aptitude, but they failed in email writing skills. Now, training, what are the pitfalls, what do they look for, entire aspect, and in today's session I will talk about the do's and don'ts of the email. I will also show you an example, a quick example, how to write an effective email. Now, so quantitative aptitude, if you clear but you do not score well in email writing, if you get disqualified, that means you cannot go through the next segment, which is the interview round, which will be HR as well as technical round. So let's take a look at the slide again. So 4 sections we are talking about: email writing skills, quantitative aptitude, the CMCQ, where you need to write some programs and certain questions will be given with optional, basically the multiple choice options which you need to pick from. So the TCS CMCQ that you see, these are technical questions, 10 questions. You need to pick the correct answer. You will be given options. First one, email writing skill, is descriptive. The CMCQ again is multiple choice, and coding test, you need to write the code the way it can be executed without any issues. Now the point that you need to keep in mind, it says number of star mark questions is 2, which means there will be 2 questions which will be marked in test. There is a new rule that has come in, which is in terms of negative marking. Please make a note of these points that I'm talking, and please keep that in mind and follow that religiously. There is a negative marking of 0.33 per wrong section. There is not on the entire email, the multiple choice questions, and that too only for quantitative aptitude. If the question, if you answer correctly, you score 1 point. If you answer incorrectly, you will lose point, you score 8 points. So from 8 points that you scored, 0.66 will be deducted. So negative marking can be very detrimental in points if you answer incorrectly. You will have 20 questions that needs to choosing as your correct answer. Okay, this to double. What does that mean over it? So you have, there are 2 questions which is starred. That means these 2 questions the score will double. It's like a bumper question. So it will become 2 points each. Now when you're scoring positive 2 points, if you go wrong, the negative will also double. So it will become minus 66 or minus 0.66. I'm sorry. So please be very careful. You will score double, but you will also lose double. So for the 2 starred question, please be extremely careful what you're writing. All right. So I'm going to pause here. Please make a note of this. Mark it bold. I hope 3% for each that you can score. Negative mark is applicable to rest of the entire. So I'm going to mark this in a different color. Now when I say marking is applicable only in the quant section, and okay, so please bear this in mind, do not go wrong. Now let me talk about the topics that you will get in terms of the quantitative ability. I'm going to mark this bold so that it's clearly visible to you. Computer screen, just to make sure that this is clearly visible to all of you. So probability and progressions, average, number system, HCF and LCM, reasoning. So if you look at this entire list of topic, this is questions will be spread across these proportions, allegations and mixtures, series and progression, average, percentage, profit and loss, problems on ages, area, shapes and perimeter, number system, HCF and LCM, reasoning. I'm going to pause here so that you can make a quick note of these topics. Okay, I hope this is helpful. If you understand, done with email writing, I will also talk about essentials of a successful interview, dress code, body language. All this will also be covered as well in terms of punctuation, in terms of mistakes that we do, the spelling, the common spelling mistake or spelling mistake. From tomorrow, I will definitely take you through, and the last 10 minutes of the session, including today, will be dedicated for question and answer. So in case any one of you have any which is installed in my system, right, 10 minutes of the session. So here are the list of topics which you must have taken email. These 90% of the candidates have failed in email writing. They have done really well in terms of quantitative aptitude, but when it comes to email, they failed because of slowly. So that you can make a note of these. Do's. Read the topic carefully. Read and understand the keywords or the key phrases mentioned. Use each and every keyword phrases mentioned. Even if you miss one of the keyword or phrase to you, don't worry about it. Just make a note of these. I will explain in detail. I'm going to repeat point number 4 and 3. So use phrases. The email will be mentioned in the topic. For example, a past tense form which is as mentioned in the topic, that is you. It could be 8, 10 or 12 for the email sequence. I will explain to you how it's going to look like. Start a new paragraph for change of thought group. What do we mean by thought group? I will explain to you. Structure. Let me increase the entire email should be in left indent format. Don't leave a gap on the left when you start a pick. Always begin your mail with greeting. Hello, receiver's name, email itself. Please do not get confused. The entire email is written within 10 minutes. Click on submit button before the 10-minute time is up. Click it. Now this is extremely 10 minutes. Now they will be assuming, or if you think you can keep on, no, that's not going to happen. 10-minute time is up. Matter, it's mandatory, it's compulsory and mandatory. You need to click on the. Lot of people wrote email but they didn't save it. Please don't rely on it. So far all this will be clarified, all with this will be simplified when I'm showing you how the email question will look like and what are the key. So click on submit button or later will not allow the email to be submitted. In the question, the question will tell you how many words the email should have. It could be 6. Make sure it's not below 80 or not above 100. Very, very important. If you go wrong in these aspects, you will lose marks. You may also get. Should not be doing in the topic. Do not change the tense or verb form of the given keyword. Do not address the receiver as hi. Lot of people write an email with hi. Please do not use hi. It should be hello. That's more preferred. Do not exceed 10 minutes time limit. So if the email says that it should be minimum of 80 words, even if your email is 17 in terms of more than one word mistakes, you will get disqualified. If I'm writing something on a Word document or PowerPoint, the system itself shows me what is the correct spelling. But when it comes to email writing on TCS, it's not going to tell you. So you got to be extremely careful. I will talk about these aspects. Clear? So I'm going to read out the don'ts once again. So please keep this in mind. And what do I mean by keyword? I will explain or the verb form in the given keyword. For example, if the keyword is buy, if the keyword is go, you cannot change will be going or went or bought or will be buying. You cannot do that. Do not address the receiver as hi. It should be hello. Timeline, like I told you, you need to click on the submit button even before point. Let me show you how the question will. I hope the screen is visible to everybody. So let me remove these grids. Okay, I'm going to show you an example question how the TCS email question will look like. Now my program will talk about email writing. Later on I'll talk about body language and interview essentials, how to succeed in interviews, what is the importance of body language. I will also talk about dress code, what kind of shirt you should be with resume. So don't worry about all these aspects. Focus on the email. Once we are done, we'll move forward. Okay. So this is a typical email question. I'm team of 10 members. I hope this is visible now. So we're going to wrap the session as I'm going to remove the mute. If anybody got a question, you can. Very simple. Let me read this out. You are the manager for a team of 10 members. Write an email to the team informing them about the Independence Day celebration in office. This is a typical to you. These are the kind of email scenario you will get. Now what it will say, use the below keywords. So wish, independence, freedom, sacrifice. Okay, I'm going to give you, so this is 5. I'm going to give you 5 more. So see, I made a mistake and I'm able to correct it. Okay, so these are the 10 words that you will get. You need to write an email to the team about the Independence Day celebration using wish, inform, independence, freedom, sacrifice. You need to use the sequence in the same words. For example, you will write, dear team, I wish to inform you that we are going to celebrate Independence Day to mark the freedom of our nation, to pay respect to all the freedom fighters who made the sacrifice. So if you pay attention, I said who made the sacrifice. I am not saying who sacrificed their lives, because if I say sacrificed with a D in the end, it becomes past tense form and I am not allowed to do that. So who made the sacrifice. I would also be a competition for best dressed male or female. The winner will be given a surprise and the team is invited for the lunch. I thank you in advance for the contribution to make this entire function successful. Whether I am changing the verb form nor I am changing the tense form. I am not supposed to do that. Even if I miss one keyword, I will get disqualified. If I change the form, I will get disqualified. If I write less than the prescribed number of keywords, I will get disqualified. If I make grammatical mistake, punctuation mistake, I will lose points. But I will also help you how to ensure you do not make these mistakes. Okay? This is the question. I want you to write the email and post on the comment section of the YouTube video which is getting broadcasted right now. Tomorrow I will take a look at it. I will also announce the name of the person who wrote the most accurate email, and tomorrow I will definitely tell you how to be successful in these emails. On the comment section of the YouTube program that you're watching, if you're watching it on Mana TV, you can go back to YouTube, look for the channel for today's program, and it's listed as TCS Drive Orientation. So please post your questions. I will take a look at it after the session is over, and tomorrow I will answer these questions. Alright, so I hope this was helpful. Once again, I want to thank you for participating. I know this was a little short, so we'll talk about the entire quantitative aptitude as well in a different session, and once that is done, we'll move on to the next segment. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for participating. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Web Technologies training program. In this training program, we are going to understand about Angular pipes. In the last class, we have seen the registration form and login form. We are going to now learn the pipes. What is pipe? Pipe is a value converter. That means it is a predefined class which is receiving a value and converting the value into the required format and returning the same. For example, we can convert the units. For example, we can convert the square yards into square feet. Otherwise, we can convert the hundreds into thousands, or we can convert the hours into minutes, or we can convert the centimeters to inches, or we can convert from any format to any format. From the numerical to string, or string to number, a single value can be converted from one format to. These are useful for common scenarios and our own pipes. So, in the today's lesson, pipes, which is also called as custom pipes. So built-in pipes, let us discuss first. Inside the built-in pipes, we are having uppercase, lowercase, number, currency, date, this type of predefined pipes. The predefined pipes in Angular. Predefined pipes in second one is lowercase, and JSON also we have. Plus slice we have. These are the built-in or predefined pipes in Angular. Now let us try to understand how to use all these predefined or built-in pipes. Okay. In order to understand this, we are taking the about component as an example. Inside the about component, we are going to create the necessary properties. In the corresponding template, we are going to do about template. So I am closing all the remaining other and about component HTML file as a open. Person name. It is a which data type? String data type. We can initialize the value in the constructor. Execute. There, what are we trying to do? This the Harsha. So I would like to display this particular name as it is. In order to display the value as it is, we need not use any pipe. So it will be appear as it is. Also, let us take a table for clarity. We are going to take a table. In the first TD, we are going to display the label, that is person name. In the next one, we are going to display the expression or interpolation binding, that is person name. So here the person name is going to be appear. Let's run this. And once we go to about page right now, we can see the person name equal to Harsha. It is displaying the value as it is. Table bordered. Table person name with Harsha. I want to display this particular person name with uppercase. What are the name we have entered here? Converting. Whichever the value we have given, that is in property. This component there is a predefined pipe called uppercase. What this pipe will do, it will convert the same to the uppercase. This is going to be the result or output, we can say. For example, the component property is nothing but person name is equal to Harsha. This is the component property what we have. The uppercase pipe we have used. What this uppercase pipe is trying to do, it is converting this value Harsha into the capital letters. So this is going to be displayed to the user. This is what the developer has given. This is what is going to be displaying in the output. Okay. So use lowercase. Now we can see the value capital here, but the lowercase output will be purely lowercase. So this is what the original value is. This is going to be converted into uppercase. This is lowercase. Okay. So here we are going to use pipe symbol followed by upper name. That name is nothing but called. The syntax of using the pipe, as you can understand, going to provide the property name, pipe symbol followed by pipe. Surprisingly, the syntax also called as pipe. So number whatever. So the first, the value, the second one lowercase, it converts the value into lowercase. The next one, third one, number, it is used to for example pipe symbol number 1, 1000, 1, 000. Let's create a number. For example, salary of the employee. I am giving some large value. So salary, I am going to display the value as it is, right? So we need not use any pipe. So the value is going to appear as it is. But whenever I would like to apply the digit grouping for this, then we have to use number. Pipe symbol number. So check and focus, right? It is doing the same thing, but also add in the currency symbol. By default, it is going to take it as provided automatically. Use it to symbol. It adds digit grouping, decimals. we can specify the number of decimals also. So how do we specify? We can specify the currency name by using the colon argument. Colon, inside the double quotes we can provide any INR. So we got Indian rupee symbol. So like this we can specify any valid currency name in capital letters here. If you mention any wrong value, see, the wrong value is displaying the value as it is. So it has no use. That's why RS instead of INR. That means instead of Hindi rupee sign, I want to display. After that point, I want 2 decimals, so we can specify 0.2, which means that the number of decimals is going to be 2 decimals you are expecting. So also the digit grouping plus decimal places we can specify in the number. Okay, the next one, the date. Date format, sing date, something called a trend. Date of joining. So this dot date of joining is equal to, according to this date of joining as it is. For example, I am going to take date of joining, I am going to print it as it is. So the date is going to be printed in this format. Generally we don't expect this format, right? So this is the actual default format of date in JavaScript, which we don't expect in normal situations, right? But how do we specify? We are going to add the date. For example, if you can specify by giving the year in 2 digits, that means instead of 2018 it is going to display like 18. So very short format it is that we have is the medium date. Check it out. Medium date means the month name, that is SEP act, like this, I mean 3 characters followed by a space and then followed by a date, comma, then the full year. So this is going to be the medium date. Medium date means this one. Next, also what do you mean? The long date is going to be displaying the full month name, then followed by the year. So this is going to be the date of joining. So we have seen 3 formats, that is, check the output, short date, medium date, long date. We have 3. The other one that we have is the next one, full date. By adding the full date, what do you mean? See, the full date look like this. It includes the full date, I mean long date. Coming to the time, actually previously we have concentrated on only date, but now time also can be displayed. Display the short number, that is 3. So we also have first medium time means, okay, I will demonstrate quickly all remaining. You can add, have a look once. Short time difference. What is the difference between medium at the same time per minute, seconds plus EM, and also just short. So what do you mean by short and medium? Let's try to understand here. Short means short comma medium time. Okay, short date plus short time is equal to short. Medium date plus medium user defect. Expecting people will go for this, and so now it is going to display, see, date, month, year. So here D for date, M for month. M must be capital. Don't use M as a lowercase because lowercase m is representing the minutes, and Y for year. How to display hours and minutes? Means hours, minutes, seconds. And in case if you want to follow the 24-hour format, H must be caps. Now we can try to display hours, this it is a 24-hour format, right? So the difference between 24-hour format is H. So 4 options we have check it out. That is a short name, that is THU, FRI, SAT, etc. Just maximum 3 characters. But WWE indicates, which triple M indicates the full month name is going to be the last and final one, the time zone, capital ZT. Okay, our panel been set like 5:30 as per the India time zone. So, and sometimes so if you want to display the custom names, so out of 12 months, if I'm inside the January to April, I want to display quarter 1, like this. For every 4 months I want to change the quarter name. There is no any predefined code. Either we can go for the custom pipe, implement the same by using the custom pipe. The benefit of going for custom pipe is it is useful for reusability. That means in different logic which is written only one time can be useful. If you don't want to plan for reusability and you want to go easily, then you can go for the writing the ng switch ourselves. So let us write the ng switch ourselves. Let's go for the ng switch. And then for this span tag we are going to see programming. Switch case usually will be having a number of cases, right? Okay, by the way, what is the name of the property we would like to check? Okay, that's all. So what this means, this indicates we are getting the month, that means month number. Based on the month number we are going to write the code. I mean month number may be 1, 2, 3, whatever. So based on, I am going to use another span is equal to 1. Then what should you display? We can repeat the same for all the remaining months. 12. And the last one also useful. I am not dealing. That means the month value of 1. So for all these months of month 1, 2, 3, 4, we can display the quarter 1 only. But in case of May 5, we are going to display quarter 2 for 4 months. From the 9th month, we are going to display the quarter 3. Here, okay, is ng. For the ng switch default, we need not supply any value. That means whenever the above conditions are false, not matching, then at that time what should be displayed is none. I would like to display. So by mistake, by chance, the date is given wrongly by the user. So because of that user mistake, so check the output. Presently, as per now, we are in the quarter 3, right? So it is showing the Q3. This is how to work with the ng switch. But the problem is same output in another composite. You want the same code in 100 times, means 100 times we have to copy paste the same set of tags. The redundancy in the complete project. That's why we don't suggest writing the ng switch for this kind of cases. Alternatively, we can go for the pipes. The benefit of pipe is, even though it is a bit complex, we can reuse it. We can create the pipe only one time, but we can repeat the same many times. So let us try to understand how to work with the custom pipes, means user defined pipes. Okay, is user defined pipes. That means the pipes which are developed by the user is called as user pipe. Here user means the, for example, we have a monthly salary of the employee. For example, it is 1000. I want to display annual salary of the employee automatically in the output is equal to 12,000. I would like to display as output. So how do we achieve this requirement? how do we convert this monthly salary into annual salary? By performing this particular operation. This particular code should be inside the pipe. This logic should be inside the pipe. The pipe is going to be a class meaning the result value. Whatever the value that we have written in the pipe, that is going to be displaying in the output directly. Whatever component has given, that we are taking the input from the component, doing the calculation and providing the calculated result value to the corresponding output. Let's see how to create the pipe practically. So right, the same path what we have given previously, that is SQL Angular 3 PM app 1. So salary converter. What is the name of the pipe? Salary converter is an. So this pipe.ts, of course, yes, which is this one, and it is having export, right? So this class is going to be importing into app.module.ts, added here. So these are the changes. We are importing the salary pipe here from the so-and-so file, and we are going to add this particular pipe to this particular module. If you don't add this pipe to the module, it will not be a part of the module. That means the other components, fortunately. So it is ready to use. Here the question, how do we call this particular pipe? So a name that is salary converter. Okay, so this salary converter will be invoked automatically now, and also this salary value automatically will be given to this value argument. So look at the syntax of the pipe. Pipe is fundamentally a class. Salary converter pipe. For example, inches to centimeters pipe. Identify that it's a pipe. And then this class can be accessible in other files, right? So that's why we are going to provide like export. And also we are implementing an interface called pipe transform. This pipe transform interface saying that it is having a compulsory method called transform method. This method will be automatically called while executing the pipe. Here we are going to call the pipe, right? Automatically it is creating an object for the class and invoking the transform method. Whatever the logic we have written here, that will execute, and whatever we written here, that is going to be printing. For example, we are giving like blindly 100 for as output. You can see the output like 100. Anyway, so today what we have understood so far, we can pending, and the practical impact of the custom pipe also pending. So we will discuss about the pipes topic, remaining things in the next class. That's all for today, and thank you.
Specific to one particular organization. And as a part of APSSDC's initiative, we did this program since last 2 years, and it led to a huge success. I pretty much remember last year we started this in Kurnool and few other places, and roughly there are close to 5,000 to 6,000 people got placed in this organization. And this particular company is one of the top position, is definitely a dream for a lot of people, because this company recognizes the skills that you bring on table and how that can be improved to meet the expectation of the company as well as the client. Even before Wipro, which company I'm talking about, and this is Tata Consultancy Services, which is TCS. So as far as the TCS placement is concerned, the program is getting started again, and AP State Skill Development Corporation, as a part of the ongoing initiative, wants to make sure exactly happens as a part of the selection process. First and foremost, you need to remember that you need to have a strong academic background. You should be scoring graduation, and you got to be really good in the fundamentals. But what the company doesn't talk about is certain aspect which program is going to help you. For the next 10 days, this is more of to know what is the pattern of the selection. So here goes the pattern of the entire selection. The first step is going to be the written round, which is an online test. So please remember, the first step is the online test. Sections on the placement, there are 4. The TCS CMC, this is more of a technical aspect. And coding test, again, there will be a situation given to you and you need to write a code. The total time given for the coding test is 20 minutes. For the CMCQ is 20 questions, 40 minutes. So you basically get 2 minutes per question. That's a whole lot. And then you have email writing. You will have to write one email which will ask for, you will be given a 10-minute timeline to write that use. But please make a note of these points. Alright, let's begin. So you will have email writing. So essentially what happens in an email, now in order to explain the phase of TCS recruitment that happened across the recruitment training, 90% of the students did very well in quantitative aptitude, but they failed in email writing skills. Now, what training, what are the pitfalls, what are the areas, what do they look for, how do they entire aspect, and in today's session I will an effective email. Now, so quantitative aptitude, if you clear but you do not score well in email writing, if you get disqualified, that means you cannot go through the next segment, which is the interview round, which will be HR as well as technical round. So let's take a look at the slide again. So 4 sections we are talking about: email writing skills, quantitative aptitude, the CMCQ, where you need to write some programs and certain questions will be given with optional, basically the multiple choice options which you need to pick from. So the TCS C, to pick the correct answer, you will be given options. Coding test, now you need to write a code within 20 minutes. So the first one, email writing skill, is descriptive. You need to write an email. Quantitative aptitude is multiple choice. The CMCQ again is multiple choice, and coding test, you need to write the code the way it can be executed without any issues. Now the point that you need to keep in mind, it says number of star mark questions is 2, which means there will be 2 questions which will be marked star. You cannot go wrong in these 2 questions. So when we talk about online test, there is a new rule that has come in, which is in terms of negative marking. Please make a note of these points that I am talking, and please keep that in mind and follow that per wrong question in TCS multiple choice questions. Negative marking is only applicable in the quant section. There is not on the entire email, so on the entire test. So when we talk about negative marking, it's only there for the multiple choice questions, and that too only for quantitative aptitude. If the question, if you answer correctly, you score 1 point. If you answer incorrectly, you will lose 0.33, which means you score 8 points. 2 questions. So from 8 points that you scored, 0.66 will be deducted. So negative marking can be very detrimental in terms of a good success ratio if you answer incorrectly. That's why please be very careful when you answer the quantitative aptitude questions. You will have 20 questions that needs to be choosing as your correct answer. Okay, the double. What does that over it? So you have 2 questions. There are 2 questions which is starred. That means these 2 questions, the score will double. It's like a bumper question. So it will become 2 points each. Now when you're scoring positive 2 points, if you go wrong, the negative will also double. So it will become minus 66 or minus 0.66. I'm sorry. So please be very careful. You will score double, but you will also lose double. So for the 2-starred question, please be extremely careful what you're writing. Alright. So I'm going to pause here. Please make a note of this. Let me make a quick change here because it's not making complete sense. This I'm going to, there is negative marking of 0.33% for each wrong answer. So when I say 0.33%, that is against the entire point that you can score on that particular question. So negative mark is applicable. Okay. So rest of the extremely important. So I'm going to mark this in a different color so that you remember. Now when I say 0.33%, which means if the question you can score 1 mark, you will use minus 33. Negative marking is applicable only in the quant section. Okay. So please bear this in mind, do not go wrong. Now let me talk about the topics that you will get in terms of the quantitative ability. I'm going to mark this bold so that it's clearly visible to you. Computer screen, just to make sure that this is clearly visible to all of you. So probability, permutation combination, time and distance, time and work, time and distance, time and work and progressions, average, percentage profit and loss, problems on ages, areas, shapes and perimeter, number system, topic. This is what will be covered across the 20 questions that you see here. Alright. So these 20 questions will be spread across these topics. I'm going to pause here so that you can make a note of these topics. Proportions, allegations and mixtures, series and progression, average, percentage profit and loss, problems on ages, area, shapes and perimeter, number system, HCF and LCM, topics. Okay, I hope this is helpful. So please remember, today's session is only in terms of orientation to help you understand how the entire pattern will be done with email writing. I will also talk about essentials will also be covered. If I'm talking about email writing skill, I also need to talk a bit about communication aspect. So I will talk about that as well in terms of punctuation, in terms of grammar mistakes that we do, the spelling, the common spelling mistakes that we end up doing in email, because you're going to lose marks if you make a grammatical mistake or spelling mistake or punctuation mistake. All this will be a part of my program. And the beginning of the session from tomorrow, I will definitely take you through the entire format, the entire pattern. This is for the benefit of those who could not join today. And the last 10 minutes of the session, including today, will be dedicated for question and answer. So in case any one of you have any questions, you have certain doubts, you want to get it clarified, which is installed in my system right now, as well as if somebody wants to call and ask any questions, we will be open to that, but only the last 10 minutes of the session, so that you collect. So here are the list of topics. Email, these are certain very important aspect that you need to know. Like I said, 90% of the candidates have failed in email writing. They have done really well in terms of quantitative aptitude, but when it comes to email, they failed, because of which they could not even go to the interview round. So I'm going to read this across. Do's. Read the topic carefully. Read and understand the key words or the key phrases mentioned. Use each and every keyword phrases mentioned. Even if you miss one of the keyword or phrases, the email will be invalid. What do I mean by this point? I will explain to you. Don't worry about it. Just make a note of these. I will explain in detail. I'm going to repeat point number 4 and 3. So use each and every phrases. The email will be invalid. Ensure keywords are used in the same form as mentioned in the topic. As mentioned in the topic. That is very, very important. There will be a list of keywords that will be given to you. It could be 8, 10 or 12 for the email sequence. I will explain to you how it's going to look like. Start a new paragraph for change of thought group. What do we mean by thought group? I will explain to you. New paragraph should start as a fresh line. This is in terms of structure. Let me increase the font size for this so that it's visible to you. The entire email should be in left indent format. Don't leave a gap on the left when you start a new paragraph. Use the receiver's name and sender's name as mentioned in the topic. Always begin your mail itself. Is up. Clicking on the button even at the 10-minute mark or later will not allow the email to be submitted. Now this is extremely important. 10 minutes. Now there will be a clock. No, that's not going to happen. You need to make sure you click on the submit button even before the 10-minute time is up. It could be 9 minutes, it could be 9 minutes 57 seconds or 59 seconds. Doesn't matter. It's mandatory. It's extremely important. You need to, it's compulsory, since you love the word compulsory. It's compulsory and mandatory. You need to click on the submit button for email. Only then your answer will, please don't rely on it. Please click on the submit button. Very, very important. And the points that I'm reading so far, all this will be clarified, all this will be simplified when I'm showing you how the email question will look like and what are the keywords and how you need to write an email. Alright, let's move back to the slide. So click on submit button before 10 or later will not allow the email to be submitted. Word count of the email should be as per the instruction given in the question. The question will tell you how many words to make sure it's not below 80 or not above 100. Very, very important. If you go wrong in these aspects, you will lose marks. You may also get disqualified. Alright. Now let me take you through the don'ts. These are the things you should not be doing in terms of email writing. Do not miss even a single keyword or phrase mentioned in the topic. Do not change the tense. Address the receiver as hi. Lot of people write an email with hi. Please do not use hi. It should be hello. That's more professional way. Do not make any spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes or punctuation mistakes in the email. Do not exceed 10 minutes time limit. Do not write the email below the number of words given in the instruction. So if the email says that it should be minimum of 80 words, even if your email is 79 words, in terms of more than one word or sentence, you will lose points. If you make lot of punctuation mistakes, you will get disqualified. If you make typographical mistakes, like lot of people have issues with spelling. If I'm writing something on a Word document or PowerPoint, the system itself shows me what is the correct spelling. But when it comes to email writing on TCS, it's not going to tell you. So you got to be extremely careful. I will talk about these aspects. Clear? So I'm going to read out the don'ts once again. So please keep this in mind. And what do I mean by keyword? I will explain to you shortly. Do not miss even a single keyword or phrase mentioned in the topic. Do not change the tense or the verb form in the given keyword. For example, if the keyword is buy, if the keyword is go, you cannot change will be going or went or bought or will be buying. You cannot do that. Do not address the receiver as hi, it should be hello. Do not make any spelling mistakes, grammatical mistakes or punctuation mistakes. Do not exceed 10 minutes timeline. Like I told you, you need to click on the submit button even before point. Do not write the email below the number of word count that is given on the instruction. Clear? So let me show you how the question will look. I hope the screen is visible to everybody. So let me remove these grids. Okay, I'm going to show you an example question how the TCS language and interview essentials, how to succeed in interviews, what is the importance of body language. I will also talk about dress code, what kind of shirt you should be wearing, what kind of watch you should be wearing, should you carry a pen or not. I will also help you with resume, so don't worry about all these aspects. Focus on the email. Once we are done, we'll move forward. Okay, so this is a typical email question that will come through for the TCS email assessment. I'm going to increase the font size so that this is going to be visible to you. You are the manager for a team of 10 members. I hope this is visible now. So we're going to wrap the session as soon as I'm done giving you the question. If you have any questions, you can ask on Zoom. I'm going to remove the mute. If anybody got a question, you can ask me while I'm writing this particular sample question. Let me read this out. You are the manager of celebration in office. This is a typical question that you will get. Okay, let me mark it bold so that it's visible to you. These are the kind of email scenario you will get. Now what it will say, use the below keywords. So wish, independence, freedom, sacrifice. Okay, I'm going to give you, so this is 5. I'm going to give you 5 more. Okay, so these are the 10 words Independence Day celebration using these words, and the sequence should be same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is wish, inform, independence, freedom, sacrifice, dress code, competition, winner, lunch, contribution. You need to use the sequence in the same manner. Words. For example, you will write, dear team, I wish to inform you that we are going to celebrate Independence Day to mark the freedom of our nation, to pay respect. I said, who made the sacrifice. So be a competition for best dressed male or female. The winner will be given a surprise and the team is invited for the lunch. Function successful. Very simple. Neither I'm changing the verb form nor I'm changing the tense form. I'm not supposed to do that. Even if I miss one keyword, I will get disqualified. If I change the form, I'll get disqualified. If I write less than the prescribed number of keywords, I will get disqualified. If I make grammatical mistake, punctuation mistake, I will lose points. But I will also help you how to ensure you do not make these mistakes. Okay, what I would love to do is, now that you have this particular program on YouTube, you know this is the question, I want you to write the email and post on the comment section of the YouTube video which is getting broadcasted right now. Tomorrow I will take a look at it. Tomorrow I will definitely tell you how to be successful in these emails. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to write to me on the comment section of the YouTube program that you're watching. If you're watching it on Mana TV, you can go back to YouTube, look for the channel for today's program, and it's listed as TCS Drive Orientation. So please post your questions. I will take a look at it after the session is over, and tomorrow I will answer these questions. Alright, so I hope this was helpful. Once again, I want to thank you for participating. I know this was a little short notice, but the idea is to make sure that you understand what this program is all about. So we'll talk about the entire quantitative aptitude as well in a different session, and once that is done, we'll move on to the next segment. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for participating. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. So today it's day 2 of TCS pattern which we have taken up yesterday. Yesterday I took you through the entire assessment, get to know from your placement officers as well as EPSSDC coordinators about it. What you need to keep in mind, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about the entire pattern for written assessment, and I'm also going to help you with one particular aspect which talking about email writing is. So the pattern has email writing as one of the criteria, one of the sections. So there are 4 sections in the written assessment. You have email writing skills, where you have one email which you need to write within 10 minutes. So the time allotted or stipulated is 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes you need to write this email. Then you have quantitative aptitude is 40 minutes. So within 40 minutes you need to answer these 20 questions, which essentially means 2 minutes per question. If you compare that with some of the other aptitude tests or quantitative aptitude tests that happens in other organizations, so the time allotted is pretty lower. Here you're getting 2 minutes, which is pretty good, I would say. If you look at the extreme right, it says number of star mark questions is 2. What does this mean? I will explain that very soon. I know I spoke about all this yesterday. I'm doing that again today for the benefit of those who did not attend the session yesterday. Then you have TCS C MCQ, multiple choice question, and that will be on C program language. You will have 10 questions that you need to answer. You will have 20 minutes time again. Then you have a coding test, which is read here is 20 minutes. Now there is also a negative marking. What does that mean? There is a negative marks of 0.33% for every wrong response, and this is applicable only for quantitative sections. So out of the 20 questions, if you are answering any question incorrectly, you will lose 0.33 marks. Okay, that's a negative marking. So you got to be very careful. So out of 20, 10 questions you have answered correctly, you scored 10 points. Remaining 10 you have answered incorrectly, for each scored. So it's a very dicey situation. That's why you have 2 minutes per question. Please be very prudent. Please be very careful when you answer these questions, especially on quantitative aptitude. Okay. Now here is the important aspect, which says star marked questions have 2 times more marks. Please note the negative marks also double up, which means if I have a particular question, you answer it correctly, so I have number of questions here. Okay. Now, the point, each of these questions allows you to score 1 marks each. Okay. So this is what you can score. I am going to change the color so that you can understand. If the answer is correct, you will score, let me mark it green. If the answer is correct, you will score 1 mark, because it's a total mark that you can score. Okay. Now this is only specific to quantitative aptitude I am talking about. Let me add the description, question number, I'm going to change this a little bit so that it's easier for you to understand. Okay. So you have question number 1. The allowed marks is 1. If you answer it correctly, you will score 1 marks each. Now, in case if you answer it incorrectly, in case if there is a mistake in this particular answer, so you will lose minus 0.33. Okay, this is what you will lose in case if it's incorrect. Now what happens is, say this is how the entire paper will look like, and there are 2 questions, which is, okay, this is what I was talking about. Say for example, star mark question has 2 times more marks. Please note the negative mark also double up. What do I mean by that? The marks allowed here says 1. Since these 2 are starred, I am going to mark it in case if it's a correct answer, because these 2 are starred. But in case if you make a mistake, it will double as well. So these 5 and 6, whatever is marked as star, is basically your bumper question. If you have scored less, you can score more on these 2 questions. But please remember, if you have already made some incorrect choices, and in the start question also, if you make an incorrect choice, you will lose more points. So you got to be very, very careful. Okay. So again, you have quantitative aptitude, 20 questions, 40 minutes allowed, 2 star mark questions. You will have questions, multiple choice question on C language. Then you have a coding test. Like yesterday I said, email writing is where majority of participants have failed in last 2 years. What are the mistakes that they ended up doing? Let me talk about that in terms of do's and don'ts. Questions for quantitative aptitude. Here, time and distance, time and work, equations, ratios and proportions, alligation and mixtures, series and progression, average, percentage profit and loss, problems on ages, area, shapes and perimeter, number system, HCF and LCM, and reasoning. So these are the topics which will cover the entire 20 question that will come for quantitative aptitude. Now for email writing, there are things which you need to remember, you need to keep in mind. Please do not miss these points. You have to follow what I'm going to talk about now. Then I will talk about what you should not be doing. Alright, let's begin. I did this yesterday. I'm doing a recap so that whatever you missed, you can understand that today essentially well. Let's go. So read the topic carefully. Read and understand as mentioned. Even if you miss one as mentioned in the topic, for example, by, cannot. Keywords should be mentioned in the sequence as mentioned in the topic. Start a new paragraph for change of thought group. New paragraph should start as a fresh line. Entire email should be left indent. Do not leave a gap on the left when you start a new paragraph. Use the receiver's name and sender's name as mentioned in the topic. Always begin your email with greeting, hello, or certain mails where the receiver and the sender's name will be mentioned. So keep that in mind. Ensure the entire email is written within 10 minutes. Click on submit button before 10-minute time is up. Clicking on the button even at the 10-minute mark or later will not allow the mail to be submitted. So the time allocated is 10 minutes. Even if you submit or if you continue to write that email and you don't submit within 10 minutes, it will not allow you to register the question. So if this word count says minimum 70 words, you have to write minimum 70 words. Keep that in mind. Now the don'ts aspect. These are the things which you should not be doing. Here's the first one. Do not miss even a single keyword or phrase, grammatical mistakes or punctuation mistakes, because you will lose points. Do not exceed 10 minutes time limit. Do not write the mail below the number of words given in instruction. So if the email says 80 words, you can use 85, 90, 95, 120, 1000, 1 lakh words. That's important. These are the areas where you will get disqualified of these points. I'm going to pause so that you can make a note of these points. Even if you go wrong in even 1 point, you will get disqualified or you will lose marks. Examples, I prepared a couple of sample tests so that we can go through it. Now before that, please remember there are 4 sections in the entire assessment. We have email writing and you have coding. All these, you cannot say that okay, in email I failed but other 3 sections I have done well, so I should be given a chance. I'm sorry, that doesn't work like that. TCS is one of the best company in the world, of course in India as well. So obviously they want the best people. You need to ask your best. We are going to help you with everything that you need, but it's up to you how much you practice. Yesterday I categorically mentioned that if you have any questions, please post on the YouTube video. I will take a look at it and I'll provide the answer, but not a single question has come through. So if you're watching this program right now, you may call during the last 10 minutes of this session. I will tell you when. So please call and ask your questions. Alright, let's begin. Here is how the email will look like in the assessment. Okay, it will say write an email to Wi-Fi in order to access internet. Okay, this is how the question will look like. Write an email to Vikas Singh. Now when it says to Vikas Singh, this means this is a receiver. Detailing the procedure to reset his password for Wi-Fi in order to access. You need to make sure you are not breaking any one of these rules. If you break these rules, you will get disqualified. So please be very careful. Minimum word should be 50, otherwise your email cannot be validated. Addressing and signing should be done as his name is not mentioned. If you look at it, it only says write an email to Vikas Singh. Only the receiver name is mentioned here. The sender's name is not mentioned, so you can write your name. That's what it means. Addressing and signing should be done as in the question given. Common grammatical rules. Punctuation should be according to standard English. You cannot make a mistake in terms of grammar or punctuation. You can use your own phrases along with the phrases given. For example, there are keywords. These are the keywords. In case if there is a keyword which is a phrase, for example, there are 10 keywords given. You have to use all the